And we are live. Welcome back to Takes by Fans. We got a great show for you today. As always, we are live every single day at noon Eastern. If you want to watch live, head over to twitch.tv/takesbyfans. If you want to watch but not live, head over to our YouTube channel, Takes by Fans. We post all of our shows and clips of the show there on a daily basis. And if you just want to listen, we are on podcasting apps, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. So however you want to watch or listen, we've got you covered multiple ways. All right, today is a big old Monday. One more game left in week 2, officially going to go down tonight. We'll break it down a little bit more in depth today, but do we really need to? It's Lions versus the Packers, and I mean, is that going to be a close game? I mean, we're going to break down all the games from last night, but I mean, the teams that really floundered, like truly floundered week 1, they all stepped it up big time week 2. Big points throughout this entire week. Big scoring, big scores, big quarterback play throughout this week. So you don't think Aaron Rodgers is about to get his? He just saw all these other quarterbacks show out. He's like, yeah, it's time for me to do it. So we'll break down that Lions-Packers game a little bit more in depth today, but we're going to be taking the Packers, and I think we're going to be swallowing all those points too as well. But today on the show, we are going to be breaking down all the games from last night, and what a wild ride yesterday, right, folks? I mean, quarterbacks getting injured, and folks, it's going to be tough when we break down one of these games, but we are 100% out on a quarterback, folks. 100% officially out on a quarterback. So quarterback injuries yesterday, a lot of them. Game-winning drives, game-winning field goals, missed game-winning field goals, and folks, what is the team that we just kind of talked about last week of us being 100% off because there's no urgency? They turned the ball over at the worst time, and they just missed a real simple kick to lose the game. Classic, this team. So a ton of action to go over from yesterday's game, so let's just jump right into it with the first game up, and that is the Patriots at the Jets. And this game kind of went exactly how it should have went. Two rookie quarterbacks, division rivals, facing each other, one having a real bad day and the other one had Bill Belichick, so he didn't have to do anything. And that's exactly what basically happened last night. So let's talk about Patriots Jets. Let's start here with this Patriots team and Mac Jones. Alrighty, Mac Jones goes 22 of 30. Is that a good completion percentage? Let's get the official numbers. Let's do the math and get the completion percentage. So Mac Jones, game number 2 of his rookie year, throws 73% completion percentage. We'll definitely give him that. Unfortunately, it only went for 186 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions as well. But, you know, just dinking and dunking here. He didn't need to go out and win this game, you know, go out and throw 400 yards to win this game, because you're going against this Jets team, and Zack Wilson threw 2 interceptions his first two passes of the game. So I mean, all Mac Jones had to do was be a game manager, and these are game manager numbers right here. 73% completion percentage, 186 yards on 22 completions, dinking and dunking, utilizing your defense in great field position, utilizing your running game to get you in some great field position, and that's exactly what Mac Jones did. Didn't turn the ball over, fantastic, and then they ended up blowing out the Jets 25-6. So yeah, Mac Jones was just a little conservative in his play calling, but that's what the game called for, so we're not going to knock Mac Jones for that. But we're also not, you know, going to put Mac Jones in like the top 10, top 15, top 20, top 25 quarterbacks in the league right now. You know, that's a little preposterous given what he did last week, kind of lackluster overall quarterback play. You know, it was a close game, but he didn't go out and kind of make those big-time throws. You know, unfortunately, he didn't lose them the game last week either with that fumble at the kind of very end of the game that let Miami just kind of like seal the deal with the 1-point win. But yeah, Mac Jones, we see Zack Wilson interception on his first drive, and then Mac Jones settles for a field goal. We'll take that. And then the other interception, Mac Jones drives 68 yards for the touchdown. Big play here. Mac Jones throwing 28 yards. Bingo, bango, another 19-yard pass on this drive, and they capitalize with the touchdown going up 10-3, and then, Zack Wilson just not able to do anything. He throws another interception, and then another interception. I mean, the man had 4 total interceptions in this game, folks. Mac Jones didn't need to do anything. So for that, nothing great, nothing bad out of Mac Jones, just real solid, and that's exactly what the quarterbacks are looking for. A game-managing quarterback. They believe they have the defense to win games. They believe they have the weapons to win games. Just don't have your quarterback try to do too much, or think he's better than what he is and go out there and actively lose you the game. So Mac Jones is doing exactly what he needs to do 2 weeks into his NFL career. So far, not bad by Mac Jones so far. Alrighty, the running game for the Patriots. Well, we know Ramondre Stevenson was a no-go because of last week's fumble, most likely. So Damian Harris back out there at running back, 16 carries for 62 yards, and he did not fumble. Fantastic. He also scored a touchdown. Their other running back, James White, 5 carries for 20 yards, 1 touchdown as well. So running back by committee, pretty solid, with Mac Jones just solid as well. And then here we go. I mean, we see who Mac Jones was passing to the entire game. James White, 6 receptions. Their running back for 45 yards. Then it's Hunter Henry, the second leading receiver here for the Patriots. 2 receptions for 42 yards. That's their tight end. So, he's dinking and dunking, taking the checkdowns. And then it's Jakobi Meyers, their actual wide receiver, 3rd leading receiver here. 4 receptions for 38 yards. And then it's back to another tight end at number 4th leading receiver here for the team, 4 catches for 28 yards. So spreading the ball around kind of actively. I mean, this is pretty solid right here. We see who he was targeting. 6 targets for James White, 4 targets for Hunter Henry, 6 targets for Jakobi Meyers, 5 targets for Jonnu Smith, 3 targets for Nelson Aguilar, 3 targets for Kendrick Bourne. So Mac Jones is truly kind of spreading the wealth between all of his weapons right there. So really a real solid game here put up by Mac Jones. It's not flashy, it's not big and pretty in the stats column and all that, but it's just real solid work out here that needs to be done to progress in his overall career. Progress overall this season, and to learn and get better. So real solid job out here week 2 by Mac Jones. Nothing flashy, but it gets the win, it gets the job done, and it builds experience. Well done by Mac Jones. Now, on the other hand, we really can't say the same for Zack Wilson, quarterback for the Jets here. Truly unfortunate. I mean, his stats are so bad that NFL.com isn't even putting his stats up here on the website, folks. So we got to go to Score Mobile on our phone to get up Zack Wilson's official stats from last night. They're trying to hide them from us, folks. They don't want us to see Zack Wilson flounder out here, but we got to talk about it, folks. So here we go. Official Zack Wilson stats from last night. Are y'all ready? Are y'all ready for this, jeez? All right, first of all, he went 19 of 33. 19 of 33. Let's see what that completion percentage is. We got 57%. Ugh, we don't like that at all. Absolutely not great, and it doesn't get better. 210 yards. I'll give him that. If we're looking for any silver lining green flag out of Zack Wilson last night, I guess it's got to be the 210 yards on 19 completions. For that, we can kind of maybe a little bit, not too much, very, very minusculely, get behind Zack Wilson. But then we look at his touchdown to interception ratio. 0 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. His first 2 pass plays of the game, both interceptions, folks. And then we see him get another one, his 3rd interception in the 2nd quarter. Now, luckily, the Patriots and Mac Jones couldn't do anything with that interception. So he gets a little bit bold and he thinks he can push it a little bit more. And he throws his last interception in the 3rd quarter out of halftime. First drive out of halftime. Decently moving the ball. They're at their own 24-yard line. So he throws another interception. And then Mac Jones capitalizes with the touchdown. Very well done. So overall, definitely big credit there to Mac Jones, but man, oh man, Zack Wilson, a big old egg laid out here, and that should be kind of given. Division rival, 0-1 Patriots going into this game. You got Bill Belichick on the defensive side of the ball. He's not going to let Zack Wilson, a rookie, make him look like a clown by letting Zack Wilson put up 50 points on this Patriots defense. No way. And Bill Belichick, make Zack Wilson pay. 4 interceptions, 57% completion percentage, and only puts up 6 points. So the passing game was not existent all day. But the running game wasn't bad. It was pretty solid here by the Jets. Rookie running back here, Michael Carter, 11 carries for 59 yards. Real solid work. And then Ty Johnson, 12 carries for 50 yards. So running back by committee got you 100 yards rushing. We can definitely take that. And then Tevin Coleman, their third string running back, 5 carries for another 24 yards. So the running game was the best here. Unfortunately, Zack Wilson couldn't really kind of help and expand on that offensive game. So unfortunate there by the Jets. Lackluster offensive game overall, like we knew it would. And then here we go, the leading wide receivers. Well, the Patriots, they're like, well, what does Zack Wilson do good? Well, he goes to Corey Davis. Well, what do? They shut down Corey Davis. Corey Davis, least receiving receiver out here by the Jets last night. Corey Davis, 2 receptions on 5 targets for only 8 yards. Womp, womp. Really poor performance here by Corey Davis. Patriots were locking him up, and yeah, why not? You know, their number 2 wide receiver was still out, and Jamison Crowder, he was not going. So, yeah, absolutely. You lock up the number 1. Your number 2's not even playing, so your number 3 has to become your number 1. And that's not going to work with rookie quarterback Zack Wilson. So, here we go. Leading receiver here for the Jets, Braxton Berrios, 7 receptions for 73 yards. Real solid out there. Elijah Moore, 4 receptions for 47 yards. Real solid work there by the rookie. And then we got Jeff Smith, 1 reception for 35 yards. And then Michael Carter for 2 receptions for 29 yards. But overall, the Jets couldn't do anything all game long. Zack Wilson faced Bill Belichick and now is welcomed into the league. Welcome to the league, Zack Wilson. Yeah, it's not all just facing bad teams and easy defenses. Sometimes you get one of the best coaches of all time, and he'll shut you down. You better believe he'll shut you down, and that's exactly what happened. So, well done by Mac Jones. Not so great by Zack Wilson out here. So, Patriots get the win 25-6. Alrighty, let's move on to the Broncos at the Jags. And man, oh man, another win here for Teddy B. Well done. But let's see, was it truly well done? Was this the Teddy Bridgewater game we wanted to see? Was it arid? Was he dinking and dunking? So let's break down the stats. They end up winning 23-13. Very well done. The spread was 6 here. Broncos -6, and they ended up covering the spread. So give credit to Teddy Bridgewater as well. We stayed away from picking this game because we thought the spread was a little bit too close, but we got to give Teddy Bridgewater credit for covering those 6 points, winning by 10. Well done. So let's start here with the Broncos since they ended up getting the win. Teddy Bridgewater, another good quarterbacking performance out here like we saw in week 1. He goes 26 of 34. That is 76% completion percentage. That's what we're talking about. Teddy B still getting it done here. He throws for 328 yards. Love that, for 2 touchdowns and no interceptions. And he doesn't fumble. Fantastic. So another clean game here by Teddy Bridgewater. You love to see it. He's truly getting it down. He's truly getting it done for this Broncos team. So, Teddy Bridgewater's real solid passing game. Running game, well, did Melvin Gordon have a good game as he did in game number 1? Little bit of a step back here. 13 carries for Melvin Gordon for only 31 yards. That's only 2.5 yards a carry, folks. That's not good at all. You really need to have at least 3.3 yards a carry for it to be good. That's just good average right there. So, Melvin Gordon, a little bit of a step back, and, you know, that's not great because we saw a huge burst week 1 that really kind of made us start believing in him. But, you know, our believability in Melvin Gordon is only kind of 1 game thick because we weren't big in Melvin Gordon coming into the season. We liked Phillip Lindsay over them. They get rid of Phillip Lindsay. They keep Melvin Gordon. They bring in Javonte Williams. Now, Javonte Williams had a real solid game last night. Rookie out here. 13 carries for 64 yards. Fantastic. So, Melvin Gordon, a little lackluster. The rookie steps it up. So, we'll see who is the better running back in game number 3. If Melvin Gordon's game 1 was a fluke, if his kind of poor performance game 2 was a fluke, and let's keep a track on Melvin Gordon as the season progresses. But really would have loved to have him had 2 real good back-to-back games, but a little bit of a flounder here by Gordon here in week 2. Alrighty, let's see who Teddy Bridgewater was passing to. Here we go. Cortland Sutton, leading wide receiver here for the Broncos. 9 receptions for 159 yards. Now, 50 yards of that 159 did come off of 1 play, but it did go for the touchdown. Or did it just lead? I think it led to a touchdown. That big 55-yard completion came en route. Yeah, en route to a touchdown. So 55 yards out of 159 coming off of one play. So Courtland Sutton basically catching 8 catches for 100 yards, which is still actually really, really good. We're not knocking that, but just putting it into context a little bit. But then we have Melvin Gordon, their second leading receiver, 2 catches for 38 yards. And then Tim Patrick, 3 receptions for 37 yards. He had a touchdown. Noah Fant, 4 receptions for 33 yards. The tight end, love it, and a touchdown. So Melvin Teddy Bridgewater kind of, spreading the wealth around decent here. And if we take kind of 50 yards away from Teddy Bridgewater's total of 328. That puts us down to 270 on 25 completions. So still doing 10 or more yards per completion, so he's not truly dinking and dunking all over the field. Another positive here for Teddy Bridgewater. So Teddy Bridgewater is truly seeming like the right option here at quarterback. A nice 2-0 start, real solid wins here, great yard totals, not turning over the ball, giving the ball to your wide receiver weapon. So overall, real good start to the season here by Denver. We'll see if they can keep it up. Alrighty, what else we got? KJ Hamler here for the Broncos. We know he's the big kind of, deep ball threat. We saw that, in the preseason games. Courtland Sutton got it done this game. KJ Hamler was kind of under wraps, only 1 reception for 5 yards on 3 targets. But overall, the Broncos get the win, so well done to Teddy B. Now let's take a look at Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars. Well, did Trevor Lawrence play better than his 3-interception NFL debut week 1? Well, he didn't throw 3 interceptions, but still didn't look that good out here. So let's talk about rookie quarterbacks that really just struggled. We just broke down that Patriots Jets game. Mac Jones looked decent. Game manager Zack Wilson, yikes. And Trevor Lawrence, yikes as well. So Trevor Lawrence goes 14 of 33, folks. 14 of 33. I already know this completion percentage right before we even do the math, and it's not good, folks. So here we go. 42% completion percentage at home. Come on, Trevor, you've got to start getting a little bit better. And not only did he throw 42% completion percentage, he basically dinked and dunked the entire game. 14 completions for only 118 yards. He had 1 touchdown. That's good, and it came off the first drive of the game. The very first drive is an 11-play, 83 yards, eating up 5 minutes and 40 seconds on the clock to end in a touchdown. So they got that down. That's great. And we kind of know the first kind of 2 series, first kind of 14 plays are all scripted. So that's good. But then going off script, Trevor Lawrence can't do anything the entire game. I mean, how many passing yards did he have on this one drive alone? So we know his total yards here passing is 118. Now let's subtract all the yards that came off that very first drive and see what he did for the rest of the game. So here we go. We had a 4-yard run, a 4-yard pass. So we got to subtract 4 yards there. Then we got a 24-yard pass, subtract 24 yards. Then we got a pass incomplete, a 5-yard run, a 5-yard penalty, a 7-yard pass, take off another 7 yards right there. A pass incomplete, take off another 13 yards on a 13-yard pass completion. We get a 2-yard run for no gain, 5-yard penalty, and then a touchdown Jaguars on a pass for 25 yards. So Trevor Lawrence for the rest of the game, folks, this first drive only ate up 6 minutes. We will round up it to 6 minutes. Trevor Lawrence, for the entire game, besides the first 6 minutes, threw 45 yards. He threw 45 yards for the rest of the game, folks. Trevor Lawrence truly locked up while throwing 2 interceptions. So 45 yards and 2 interceptions for the rest of the game. Did he fumble? Did he turn over the ball fumbling? No. So that's good. Only held it to 2. So getting better. We want to see you get better every single week. He set the bar very, very low with throwing 3 interceptions last week. So I guess we could say he got a little bit better this week. But still, big learning curve here for Trevor Lawrence, who's truly looking like the worst rookie quarterback out of the class. I know it's only 2 games and a small sample size, but Trevor Lawrence, I mean, so far we've seen, a solid performance by Mac Jones in either games 1 or 2. We saw the same thing, in game 1 for Zack Wilson, a solid performance. It wasn't anything great or bad. Game number 2 was bad, but I mean, Trevor Lawrence has not had a good game week 1 or a good game week 2 here, so he was the first one taken, not looking so hot like everybody thought he would coming out of college year 1, but sheesh, this man needs to get a lot better. Let's see where these interceptions came and if the Broncos took advantage of them. So here we go. First interception is coming in the 3rd quarter when they were already down 17-7, and Teddy Bridgewater takes them down and scores 3 points out of it. And then the other interception comes in the 4th quarter when they are still down 20-7, and Teddy Bridgewater scores another field goal off of that, making it 23-7. So, and then what do we got here? Is this a punt return for a touchdown? Fantastic. That's how they get the touchdown? Okay. So that's how they make it 13 points. We get basically their first and last drive of the game all going for touchdowns. So that's not bad, I guess. But overall, Jags get absolutely kind of blown out here, 23-13. Couldn't really move the ball the entire game. And, they very, very lackluster. So Broncos really probably should have put up a little bit more points out here, but overall it's on the road, so we won't kind of penalize the Broncos too much. They got the win, and that's the most important thing. So Trevor Lawrence, bad game. What was the rushing attack looking like? James Robinson, 11 carries for 47 yards. All right, solid, average-ish performance. Trevor Lawrence ran twice for only 21 yards, and Carlos Hyde got the ball twice for 7 yards. So didn't really stick with the running game either. Once again, I mean, they're asking Trevor Lawrence another 33 attempts. What was it, like 50 attempts in game number 1? Let me see if I can bring that up quickly here, because I want to say him and Josh Allen both had like 50 passes in week 1, which we thought were a little extreme for both of those quarterbacks. So, last week 1 here for the Jaguars. Let me get it up. Here we go. Trevor Lawrence threw the ball 51 times. That's what we're saying. So another 33 here, only rushing the ball really on 14 times. Why? You saw the passing game flounder the entire time, and I know you still have to try to establish the passing game, even if it's not there. The same thing with the running game. If the running game is getting out to a slow start, you still need to get it done to establish it. But, only rushing 11 times here, total of like 13, 14 times. It's like, really? After you just saw Trevor Lawrence throw the ball 51 times and stink it up, then you kind of continue to do that in week 2. So, the coaching, the offensive coordinators are not doing Trevor Lawrence any favors out here. So, I don't know what the hell is going on here in Jacksonville, but I don't like what's going on coaching and what they're doing offensively. I don't think it's making any sense. All right, and let's finish this by talking the receivers here by Jacksonville. Marvin Jones, leading receiver, 6 catches for 55 yards and a touchdown. So that's another kind of silver lining if you're looking for one. They're going to their actual wide receiver playmakers, and Marvin Jones was targeted 11 times. So Trevor Lawrence is trying to go to their wide receiver true weapon. So I'll give him a little bit of credit for that. Then we get James O'Shaughnessy, 1 reception for 24 yards. DJ Chark, 1 reception for 19 yards. James Robinson, 3 receptions for 17 yards. So just really nobody doing anything good here for Jacksonville. Barely could put up any points, and they lose by 10, 23-13 to the Broncos. All right, and before we move off of this game, let's give credit to Patrick Surtain, baby, the rookie corner. Is this man going to start his career off as a true shutdown, lockdown corner? Because he picks off Trevor Lawrence right here. Look at this. Boom. An absolutely great interception here by Patrick Surtain, the rookie cornerback. Look at this one. Great lockdown right here. This receiver had absolutely no separation. I mean, folks, look at this true lockup here. 0 yards of separation. Boxing them out in absolutely perfect position where you need to be. I don't know where Trevor Lawrence was thinking he was going with this ball. That no separation here. A true 50-50 ball right here, but he doesn't throw it well. I mean, this ball has to be put 100% on the money, and it's nowhere close since there's no separation. And Patrick Surtain, a nice, just look at this over-the-shoulder catch right there. Fantastic. I mean, receivers really, have a tough time catching this type of ball of looking it in over their shoulder. And Patrick Surtain, the cornerback, we all, there's the joke out there, the classic joke of that's why they're on defense, because they can't catch. But Patrick Surtain's like, nah, I can catch. Y'all, I just play defense because I love shutting people down. I can catch. I can play receiver, no problem. And Patrick Surtain, very, very well done. First career interception. Give the kids some love, getting it done here for the Broncos and helping them get out to a 2-0 start. So well done to Patrick Surtain getting it done. Alrighty, let's move on to the next game up, and sheesh, folks. Sheesh. Alrighty. Make all the Dolphin jokes that you want. We've got no problem with it. But, before we break down this game, we are going to say this, and we believe this 100%. We wouldn't say this if we didn't believe it, so we are going to say it right now. If Tua does not get injured in this game, the Dolphins win this game 100%. There is no doubt. There is no question. The Dolphins win this game if Tua is in for the entirety of the game. Jacoby Brissett is nothing great, and we just saw that last night. We never really liked him when he was playing for the Colts in the backup, and that's why they had to settle and kind of get Phillip Rivers, and then he seemed to be settling again, with Carson Wentz because of the injury again. We're going to get there, folks. We're going to get there. But yeah, I mean, Jacoby Brissett is definitely not the answer. The man's not looking comfortable or even efficient throwing the ball. Everything was kind of dink and dunk. Doesn't really have that big arm or anything, the big deep throw accuracy. The Dolphins' offensive line is another huge struggle here. I mean, the Bills just absolutely obliterated the line every single time Tua was dropping back to pass, and literally obliterated him and gave him no time to throw, and then ended up injuring him with bruised ribs. And so far, it's looking good where there's no, fractures or breaks in the rib cage or anything like that. It's talking about all bone bruises at the current moment potentially, or just pain tolerance to get him right back out there. So hopefully he's still good to go for next week, because this Dolphins team is not going to win with these receivers, especially with Jacoby Brissett. I mean, all these receivers are truly tier 2 wide receivers or below, and we saw that last night as well. I mean, nobody could hold on to the damn ball here for Miami. So a true bad job by everybody except the Dolphins defense, who kept them in the game kind of the entire time until halftime came, where, the realization started to settle in for the defense. They're like, it doesn't matter what we do, the offense is going to do nothing with it. So, we can get the turnover, we can get the takeaway, we can get the great field position for them, but, they're going to flounder. They're going to either fumble the ball themselves, or Jacoby Myers is going to get knocked out of field goal, or Jacoby Brissett's going to get knocked out of field goal range. But whatever happens, regardless of where we set the tone for starting field position for the offense, they're going to come up with 0 points, and then just the floodgates opened in the second half when, that inevitability started to settle in here for this Dolphins defense. So I'm not going to give credit to Josh Allen too much. I know his fans and, the Buffalo media is still not that impressed with Josh Allen. They'll take the 35-0 win over Miami, the division rival. I mean, absolutely. They'll ride that high, and they'll ride this win all the way till next week until Josh Allen's back out on the field, potentially struggling again. And we are going to break down Josh Allen again on our Wednesday's film studies, a little bit of a deeper dive into these games, truly seeing what Josh Allen was putting out there. But let's start here with what the Bills did last night. So Josh Allen goes 17 of 33 for only 179 yards. He had 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. Let's get this completion percentage up. Once again, it's not looking that great, folks. We didn't see anything great week 1 completion percentage-wise, and here we go week 2 at 51%. So, man, oh man, nowhere even close these first 2 weeks where he was last year. There's still a lot of games to be played and a lot of throws to be made. So, obviously these are, working assertions as we work our way through the season, but Josh Allen is truly going to have to step it up a lot. I mean, like tenfold, if he wants to get back to where he was last year, where we really kind of expect him to be. So we'll give him, maybe a small benefit of the doubt. He's still only going into year 4, so maybe the first 3-4 games we'll give Josh Allen a little bit of a free pass, a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, but we really have to start to see him turn it up at some point, and I think we're going to start truly getting in on and going in a little bit harder on Josh Allen by week 5 if his kind of passing game isn't sharpening up. But he had 2 touchdowns. Well done of, cashing in points. The Bills, they had great starting field position on their first 2 drives. The first one, because of a big old punt return, they start at the Dolphins' 46-yard line, and they do cash in with the touchdown. We get a big 46-yard run there by Devin Singletary. And then their second drive, they start at basically midfield because the Dolphins go for it on 4th and 2, and unfortunately do not pick it up. So the Bills, 2 straight drives starting with great field position, and they cash in both times, once thanks to the running game and once thanks to Josh Allen. So great job there by the Bills to be ready to get out to the hot start. But that's why we are so confident in saying if Tua played the entire game and didn't get knocked out because of the injury to the ribs, that they would have won, because the Bills struggled to move the ball for the rest of the first half. They fumbled the ball. Who fumbled here? We get Zach Moss fumbling the ball. Unfortunately, they lose possession. Their next drive, they have to go 3 and out. Their next drive is the Josh Allen interception. The next drive is another 3 and out. The next drive is a 4 and out. Their next drive is a missed field goal. So, the Dolphins were in position to put up points in the first quarter. Unfortunately, turnover on downs, and they turn over the ball with fumbles and interceptions. Unfortunate there as well. But, if Tua was out there, and just kind of the running game was able to kind of get established as well, because you have your main guy out there at quarterback. You can do whatever you want. You don't have to shrink the playbook and all that. The Dolphins make it competitive in the first half, and then that second half is totally different. The only reason why the Bills blew the Dolphins out in the second half was because of the overall circumstances surrounding them that we just mentioned at the top. I'm not taking anything away from Buffalo. Still shutting out a team is absolutely fantastic. I mean, I'm still giving Bills the credit here with a 35-0 win, folks. I'm not trying to take anything away from the Bills. I'm just saying, don't put too much stock in this win overall. So when we talk about the Bills next week, and we all have to kind of reset and take everything with big grains of salt of everything that we just saw, we have to kind of truly put this win in a little bit of perspective here. We'll still give credit to everybody on the Bills for the big old win, but let's temper down the big overall celebration of this 35-point win here for the Bills. Alrighty, what else do we got here for Buffalo? We got Devin Singletary, 13 carries for 82 yards and a big old touchdown. We saw that, we just talked about it, the 43, 42-yard run there for the touchdown. Well done. Josh Allen ran 5 times for 35 yards. He did not fumble, so that's good. We talked about the Zach Moss fumble. Now let's talk about who Josh Allen was throwing to here. Here we go. Stephon Diggs, 4 receptions. He was the leading receiver here for 60 yards and a touchdown. Emmanuel Sanders, 2 receptions for 48 yards. He had a big catch on one of these touchdown drives. I want to say this second touchdown drive. Yeah, here we go. 35-yard pass to Emmanuel Sanders to the Dolphins' 6-yard line. Great catch there, but that's really all he did all game. I loved seeing that because I truly want to see Emmanuel Sanders be a huge weapon here for this Bills team, and a huge reason why the Bills are successful this year, and a huge reason why Josh Allen is successful this year, as I hope is Emmanuel Sanders, opposite side of Stephon Diggs. But, I kind of got excited watching this game because Emmanuel Sanders coming off real early on, but then he just kind of, sunk into the background here, which really was the entire Bills, passing game for the rest of the game. After those first 2 drives, the Bills really could do nothing when they had to go the entire field, and the defense was truly, pressing up. You got to give credit to this Dolphins defense. They tried their hardest. They put their team in the right position to go out and take advantage and win the game. It's just unfortunate the offense of the Dolphins without Tua is just truly, truly not great. Will Fuller being out truly hurting this team again here. So Devontae Parker tried his best, but he dropped a wide open touchdown in the end zone. I mean, geez Louise, we'll talk about this game a little bit further on our Wednesday show, our Wednesday film study. I said we're going to talk about Josh Allen, and we will watch all of these turnovers because all came at worst times here for the Dolphins, and these receivers not being able to catch and hold on to the ball. It was truly killing the Dolphins last night. So now let's talk about Miami. Let's start here with Tua. He only got 4 passes off before the Bills. I mean, this man's been taking shot after shot this entire season, folks. It's only been 2 games. I mean, this man has been big hit, like enough for an entire season. And it's only been 2 games. We just saw that last week against the Patriots where Matthew Judon absolutely, literally, like spears the kid. 100% legal, and it was a great hit, and we talked about it last week, but Tua gets up, no big deal, kind of brushes it off. A big hit, though, but, these big hits keep piling up, and he'll go down like he just did. So, I mean, this Dolphins line is truly going to have to get 1,000,000,000% better if they want any chances to win another game this entire year. Hopefully, Tua isn't out too long either. So Tua, 1 of 4 for only 13 yards. Basically didn't even play any in this game. Truly unfortunate. So we bring in Jacoby Brissett, who is truly nothing great here. Big dink and dunker. 24 of 40 for 169 yards. 24 completions for 169 yards. I mean, folks, that's truly dink and dunk. Not even close to that 10 yards average per completion, which we really want to see you do to really kind of not classify you as a dink and dunker. But Jacoby Brissett, big dink and dunker out here, big time. All right, so he goes 24 of 40. That completion percentage is 60%. That's really not that great. Nothing special. No touchdown and interception as well. Let's see where this interception came. All right, here we go. It came in the first quarter, and luckily, once again, the Dolphins defense holds. They throw a pick, and they don't let the Bills capitalize on that pick. And once again, let's highlight this Dolphins defense. The Dolphins fumble, and then they go off and pick off Josh Allen on the very next drive. And then they have a turnover on downs, and they force a 3-and-out. So it's truly the Dolphins defense. I mean, it gets no credit because of the offense not being kind of super impressive and super explosive, where we kind of have other good teams with great defenses like the Rams that have complement good offenses. You can kind of say the same things about the Ravens. They have good spurts about offense. They did give up about 34, 33, 35 points against the Chiefs last night. But, once again, Lamar Jackson with that explosive defense. Same thing with the Chiefs. They do, Tyrann Mathieu had 2 picks. Absolutely fantastic. Love that dude. We're going to break him down when we get to that game. But, the Chiefs defense gets talked about because they have, Patrick Mahomes on the offensive side. I mean, this Dolphins defense is truly top tier in this league. I'll call it top 5. I'll even call it top 3. Don't test me. But they get no respect. They get no recognition because, the offense is truly underwhelming as heck. So nothing great by either passer. We got to make a move. You cannot rock with Jacoby Brissett. You got to bring in somebody else. The man just cannot move the ball, and we've seen this time and time again. This is not a good backup quarterback to have. This is a backup quarterback. This is a person that plays quarterback. That is it. He does not get you that chance of a 50-50 chance of winning these games as a backup. He is not Ryan Fitzpatrick. You get a 50-50 shot with Ryan Fitzpatrick. Jacoby Brissett, you get like a 10% chance of winning the game or even moving the ball or even scoring a point. And that's no disrespect to Jacoby Brissett, but it's just what he is. It's unfortunate. So nothing great passing here. We'll see what they do this week. We'll keep you guys updated. The running game, the running game isn't going to get out to a good start because, they're going to be playing. They'll let you pass. They'll let Jacoby Brissett throw all over them. They know it's not going to happen, especially with this wide receiver core. So the Bills didn't allow this rushing game to get out to a good start either, or even a good game. Myles Gaskin, 5 carries for 25 yards. Malcolm Brown, 5 carries for 21 yards. Salvin Ahmed, 6 carries for 27 yards. But they just never, what are we talking? We're talking about, 15, 16 carries here. Running back by committee did okay, but just nothing big, nothing explosive, nothing consistent right here. And, that's to be given, to be expected. Alrighty, let's talk about these Dolphins receivers. Leading receiver, Jalen Waddle, 6 receptions for 48 yards. He did fumble. We see it right here. Jalen Waddle fumbled and lost it. Jakeem Grant fumbled and lost it. Truly unfortunate. Devontae Parker, 5 catches for 42 yards. He also dropped a touchdown in the end zone. Truly unfortunate. All of these, everybody here, truly floundering. Mike Gesicki, the tight end, 3 catches for 41 yards. Myles Gaskin, 4 catches for 21 yards. So true big disappointment here by the Dolphins yesterday. And hopefully Tua isn't out too long, but they get shut out, folks. Truly bad. And we'll see if Josh Allen can keep improving or trying to improve in week 3. And here we go. We get the update on Tua here. Quarterback Tua Tagovailoa underwent further tests this morning on his bruised ribs, and my understanding is those didn't reveal any major issues. X-rays were negative, so it'll be about pain tolerance and functionality moving forward. Raiders await Sunday in Las Vegas. So we'll see how he goes. Pain tolerance is seeming like what is going to hold or not hold Tua from playing or not playing this Sunday in LA, in Las Vegas, not Los Angeles. So we'll see if he's good to go. Hopefully praying on it. Alrighty, next game up here is the 49ers at the Eagles. Alrighty, and man, oh man, two good, solid teams, and I think they both prove that they are good, solid teams in this league. Big-time defense is stepping up big time here, not allowing really any points. And Philadelphia, I mean, they had a really good first half, just kind of floundered because of the lack of success in the first half, and I truly think that plays a huge narrative that I don't think gets talked about enough in the national media by everybody, all the national kind of, proven media people, sports media people out there. I mean, we just talked about it, in the Bills-Dolphins game. And, we've talked about it before with the Bears over the last couple of years. If, the defense, if it's having such great success, but they're not capitalizing it on those great field positions and the turnovers that the defense creates, if the offense isn't kind of capitalizing on that, then the defense just starts to kind of flounder a little bit, and you just get this kind of overall mentality, and I think it's subconscious for the most part, but you get this mentality of just, it's just not going to happen. We've done it time and time again. The defense has stepped up time and time again, and the offense isn't, and it's just, it kind of comes to a breaking point where everything just kind of folds in, and we just saw that with the Dolphins. They held the Bills to only 14 points. They were shutting down everything, but then the second half came after halftime when the realization set in of, hey, we truly cannot, it doesn't matter if we lock this team down because the offense isn't going to do anything. And then they gave up 21 points in the second half. So we kind of saw the same things here with this Eagles offense. It was, just kind of getting stop, but it was moving the ball in the first half, and then in the second half, because of the overall, unscorability that they saw offensively in the first half, the offense wasn't as good as it was in the first half. So let's just kind of say what we mean here. So here we go. On these first half drives by the Eagles, they were moving the ball. First drive, they had to go 5 and out for only 8 yards. I mean, that, took a little bit to get started, but then their next drive, it's results in a field goal, still putting points on the board, which is good, but they moved the ball 11 plays for 53 yards in field goal territory. Their next drive, 10 plays, 54 yards, once again in field goal territory, but they missed the field goal. Truly unfortunate. And it was an easy makeable one from only 47 yards out. And then they have another turnover on down, 6 plays, 89 yards on the following drive. And this one was kind of called a touchdown. It was called back. And then, there was a penalty and all that. And then they end up being on the 1 yard line. First and goal, incomplete pass. Second and goal, -3 yard run. Third and goal from the 4, 1 yard run. And then 4th and 3, they go for it. It's a pass incomplete, and they turn the ball over on downs. And then the last drive, they can't really do anything. So they were, close to scoring on basically every drive in the first half, but only walk away with 3 points. That's frustrating overall. Then they come out at halftime and really couldn't move the ball that well for kind of the rest of the game. We have a 3-and-out to start the drive. They went 11 plays, 53 yards, but it doesn't put them in field goal territory. They go 5 plays, 12 yards, half the punt, and then their last drive, they're able to muster it up and score a touchdown and the 2-point conversion, but it's too late at that time. So overall, this is a still good, solid Eagles team that we can buy into moving forward. It's just they got out to a unfortunate start by not kind of capitalizing on all the drives, and then it just kind of set in that mentality subconsciously, and they just weren't able to kind of put up the points. So unfortunate here by the Eagles. Last night they lose 17-11, but let's start breaking down the stats here. Here we go. Jalen Hurts, not the best game, 12 of 23. Which is 52% completion percentage, not the greatest, like we say. But he had 190 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. Once again, just trying to do everything out there that he could. Unfortunately, comes up a little bit short in the points column. All right, he was the leading rusher as well. 10 carries for 82 yards. He scored the rushing touchdown. Give him credit for that. Well done. Miles Sanders, the running back, second leading rusher, 13 carries for 55 yards. Not a bad performance there either. Receiving-wise, let's see who Jalen Hurts was targeting. Quez Watkins, 2 receptions for 117 yards. Dallas Goedert, their tight end, 2 receptions for 24 yards. Kenneth Gainwell, 2 receptions for 18 yards. Devontae Smith, their rookie, 2 receptions for only 16 yards, but he was targeted 7 times, the most of any receiver out there. So that's great that Jalen Hurts is trying to work with Devontae Smith as most as he can, but little lackluster out there. 2 receptions on 7 targets. That's not great for only 16 yards. So they were truly locking him up. Alrighty, so they didn't turn the ball over all game, which is great. Nobody's fumbling, nobody's throwing interceptions. Great, just unfortunately turning over the ball on downs, if you want to count that as a turnover, and the block field goals, unfortunately. Alrighty, now let's talk about the 49ers. Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, this game was close as heck, folks. This was not a blowout. Nobody ran away with this game. Both defenses truly clamped up. Both offenses truly couldn't put up points on the board throughout the entire game, and it was a close, real solid game right here. All right, so Jimmy Garoppolo goes 22 of 30. A lot better than, obviously, Jalen Hurts. We get 73% completion percentage. We will take that all day, but only 189 yards. A little bit of a dink and dunk game. He threw 1 touchdown, no interceptions. We can definitely get behind that. All right, their running game was kind of getting it done decently out here. Eli Mitchell, 17 carries for 42 yards. Not the greatest, average, yards per carry, only at 2.5 yards. Like we said, not what we want it to be. Jermichael Hasty gets 5 carries for 38 yards. Jimmy Garoppolo even ran the ball 11 times. 11 times. Why are you doing that? That's not your game. I would not be doing that. 11 times for 20 yards and 1 touchdown. We'll give him the touchdown. Deebo Samuel in the Gadget game getting 2 carries for 8 yards. And then here we go. Let's see who Jimmy Garoppolo was passing to the entire game. Deebo Samuel, leading receiver here for the 49ers by far. 6 receptions for 93 yards. Then we have Jermichael Hasty, 4 receptions for 21 yards. George Kittle kind of locked up all game. 4 receptions for only 17 yards. Didn't even score. Unfortunately, kind of, flunking tight end university this week a little bit. And then we got Juwan Jennings, 2 receptions for 17 yards, and he did catch a touchdown. So overall, these are 2 solid teams right here. We're not going to fall or sell this Eagles team. We still believe they are one of the top tier. I'm not saying top tier, but they are definitely a solid, winnable team in this league so far through 2 weeks. We're not going to fall off of them. We're not going to sell them. We will still buy this Eagles team moving forward. A defensive battle that resulted into a 17-11 game, and the 49ers walk away with a victory. But the Eagles were knocking on that scoring door the entire game, unfortunately just coming up short every single time, unfortunately. So don't fall off the hype of the Eagles. We still believe Jalen Hurts is the real deal. This Eagles defense is the real deal, holding the 49ers only 17 points. That's real solid, and we'll see what they can do in week 3, both these teams. Alrighty, let's move on to the Rams and the Colts. And folks, the time has officially came, folks. The time has officially come. Unfortunately, we didn't want this time to come, but the time has officially come. Alrighty, folks, we bought into Carson Wentz this offseason. As soon as he was signed here to the Colts, we claimed this Colts team as Super Bowl champions, that Carson Wentz would return to form, would really kind of prove what he's truly made of as a quarterback, stay healthy, and win a ring here. Lead a team where he's actively participating through every single game and the playoff games and the Super Bowl to win the ring. That's what we were kind of buying into this entire offseason. Then training camp came, and we set our training camp narrative that we didn't even want to see Carson Wentz get injured, not even a small tweak. We wanted to see nothing. And then came the ankle injury, the foot injury, and then we were 100% off on Carson Wentz. But then the following day, they said it was kind of a pre-existing injury, so we bought Carson Wentz back a little bit. We were like, all right, this isn't a new injury. This is an old injury that just kind of came to its breaking point where you have to do something about it. So we bought back into Carson Wentz kind of about 100%. But now Carson Wentz back out injured week 2. We are 100% off of Carson Wentz. We are done with him. He is not reliable anymore. We gave him the benefit of the doubt. He used all of his free passes that we were giving him. He is 100% done in our book. We are 100% selling Carson Wentz with no return policy. We will not rebuy Carson Wentz. We are 100% done on Carson Wentz. Ankle injury takes him out of the game, brings in Jacob Eason for basically the game-winning drive, and we know that's not going to do anything. We saw Jacob Eason and who was the other quarterback that was kind of vying for position if Carson Wentz wasn't able to go the first couple of weeks. Jacob Eason and Sam Ehlinger, both of them really not good in preseason. We watched all of them, all their throws basically, and we were like, yeah, they need Carson Wentz back bad, big time. They cannot let that man miss week 1, and he didn't, but he's going to, he missed half of the game in week 2 here. So we are no longer buying Carson Wentz. We are no longer sticking to our pick of the Colts as Super Bowl champions. We will go to who they are facing in the Super Bowl, which is the Rams, and we will now from here on out, from week 2 on, from the end of week 2 on, we are saying that the Rams are the new Super Bowl champions. So 1 trillion, 1,000, I mean, there's not even a number. We're done with Carson Wentz. That's it. That's it. We're done with him. We're done. We are done. You want to get injured in a competitive game where you need to be in and kind of lead your team to not go down 0-2 this season, to not start the season 0-2, and you give us an injury? You give us an injury? Come on, you couldn't even give us a bad performance. I would have taken a bad performance. I would have taken, laying an egg, throwing a pick 6 on the 1 yard line when you could have won the game. That's what I would have taken over you getting injured. So Carson Wentz, goodbye. We tried to buy you. We tried to give you every single benefit of the doubt. We wanted to buy into him so bad. You can track us, folks. It's in the archives, folks. We record and post every single episode. Check all of our episodes from the off season. We were trying to give Carson Wentz the hype, the love, all the excuses of why he floundered last season in Philadelphia. We were kind of telling you why and all that, making excuses for him, and this is how he repays us, folks. 1 trillion% out. Never buying back in on Carson Wentz. It's done. It is over. He will always be injured. He is never reliable, and you flounder in a huge game right here. One of the best games of the weekend. I'll call it that. Absolutely. Rams-Colts, fantastic game. And Carson Wentz goes down, and his team loses because of it. So, out on Carson Wentz, folks. Let's start here with the Rams and Matthew Stafford. And man, oh man, I mean, this Rams team just seems like they can score at will. Whenever they're put in a bad situation where they need to score, they score the ball. I mean, you've got to give so much credit to Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford for the sheer genius and great execution of the offense, but then you've just got to give them credit for just the sheer urgency here, folks. I mean, it was absolutely fantastic. Let's take a look at kind of how the scoring went through this game, and you'll definitely see what we mean. So here we go. First drive for the Colts results in a turnover on downs, but first drive of the game for the Rams on the road, you need to kind of set the tempo. They go up 7-0, bingo, bango, 8 plays, 90 yards, 5 minutes. Matthew Stafford slinging the ball all over the field, and it results into 7 points. Then the Colts respond with a field goal, making it 7-3. And then the Rams throw an interception. Oh, no. But then the defense comes up big and gets an interception on their own. And then the offense is like, we're not going to do that again. They score a field goal. The Colts score a field goal at the end of the second quarter, going into halftime 10-6. What do the Rams do right out of the gate? Score another touchdown. First drive out of halftime. They set the tone. Another touchdown, 7 plays, 74 yards, making it 17-6. Then they both punt. Colts punt, then the Rams punt. But then the Colts on their next drive, they score a touchdown, making it 17-14. The Rams struggling here. They have to punt. The Colts have to punt. Then the Rams fumble the ball, and it's a fumble 6. So now they're down. They are down in the fourth quarter. What do we got? We got 14 minutes in the fourth quarter, and they are down 21-17. But the Rams and Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford, they say, okay, we need a touchdown. We're down 4 points. We can't just settle for the field goal. Okay, 4 plays, 170 yards, 2 minutes, back on top, 24-21. And then the Colts go down and score a field goal, tying the game 24-24. So what do you think Sean McVay and the Rams do? They're like, oh, we need points? We got points. Go down, 12 plays, 55 yards, chewing off 5 minutes off the clock, leaving how much time left? All right, leaving 2 minutes and 27 seconds left in the game. They go up 27-24, and then the defense really kind of puts it on ice. They pick off Jacob Eason. Of course they would. And then basically run out the clock, and they win by 3 there. So, I mean, you just got to give credit to this Rams team. They score when they truly need to score. They don't blink in the times of adversity, in the time of do or die, and they go out there and get it done. So this Rams team is truly, truly impressive. One of the best offenses in this league, and we've got the Rams, the Chiefs, and the Bucs offense, and this is a true competitor here with the Rams. Give them their credit. So let's start talking about some stats here. We got Matthew Stafford going 19 of 30. Only 63%, which is definitely light, but he slung it around for 278 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, unfortunately. Luckily, the interception led to another interception, so Matthew Stafford gets bailed out there. Fantastic. But once again, the defense bailing out the offense. I mean, this is a true complement team here. The offense is just as good as the defense, folks. It's truly great all around. So Matthew Stafford, another great performance right here. His second game with the Rams, still getting it done, winning on the road. All right, the running backs, Darrell Henderson, 13 carries for 53 yards and a touchdown. He was getting it done. Sony Michel, 10 carries, 46 yards. Fantastic. Running back by committee here, putting up the runs, 23 yards or 23 carries combined. Once again, we're going back to the Jaguars. Why are y'all not running the ball as many times as this Rams team when you have a less great quarterback? Matthew Stafford's way better than Trevor Lawrence, obviously. So there's no reason why these teams should be, throwing their quarterbacks into the fire. Matthew Stafford's only throwing the ball 30 times. There is no reason why Trevor Lawrence should be throwing the ball 33 times, folks. There's no reason for it. All right, so the running attack was good. The passing game was good. Let's see who Matthew Stafford was throwing to. Cooper Kupp, 9 receptions for 163 yards and 2 touchdowns. Fantastic. Robert Woods, 5 carries for 64 yards. So Matthew Stafford is just going to his wide receiver weapons, isn't dinking and dunking to the running games or even utilizing his tight ends. He's like, nah, let me just get the receivers. They get paid to do that? Yeah, I'm going to just go to them. Yeah, y'all go deep. There we go. 163 yards for Cooper Kupp. So Matthew Stafford slinging the ball around. These receivers can catch the ball. They're putting up the points. They're winning the games. They're clutching it up. This Rams team, folks, absolutely fantastic. All right, now the Colts. And he who shall never be named ever again in our studio, Carson Wentz. What do we call this dude? Like, what do we have to call this man? I'll think of a nickname. He will have a new nickname by tomorrow. Well, I mean, I don't want to steal the one from Skip Bayless. It is a good one. Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz. So that's a pretty good one. I won't lie. It's a good one by Skip Bayless there. But we got to think of our own. It's not coming at the top of my head, I'll tell you that. Carson, wowza. Wow. Wowza. You go into, it's like Carson Wentz goes into to meet a new doctor, and he's going over his medical history, and after he flips like 3 pages of injury, he's like, Carson, wowza, looking at his charts, wowza. Nice to meet you, Carson, wowza. Wowza, you injured this many times? You need some milk. Damn. Carson Wentz, get some milk in your system. Jeez Louise. But we'll think of his new nickname. Here we go. Carson Wentz goes 20 of 31. 64% completion percentage. It's good. It's serviceable. I'll take it. But the injuries, we can't. 247 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. His interception resulted into 3 points. His defense could not bail him out, unfortunately, on his interception. So Carson Wentz, unfortunate. An all-around good game, unfortunate with the injury. All right, the running back by committee here, Jonathan Taylor, 15 carries for 51 yards. Carson Wentz ran the ball 5 times for 37 yards. And then we got Marlon Mack, 5 carries for 16 yards. And why is Nyheim Hines only getting 1 carry? What the hell is that? 1 carry for 5 yards. Get that man some more carries up there. Damn it. Especially when Carson Wentz goes down, they should only be running the ball. You should only be running the ball. I would not have Jacob Eason throwing the ball 5 times. And I would definitely not have him throw the ball on that kind of game-tying, game-winning drive right there when they were down 3. I do not give that man the ball at all. We are running the ball. We will live and die by our running back by committee. The Colts did not do that, though. All right, and it was so good to watch this game because Michael Pittman Jr. truly came into his own here in this game, and that's exactly what we wanted to see. We had high buyability and believability and rootability here for Michael Pittman, but he was truly lackluster week 1, but he got his rhythm here week 2. He goes 8 carries for 123 yards, was the leading receiver for this Colts team. Just unfortunately results in a loss and Carson Wentz being injured, but Michael Pittman Jr. we'll see what he can do. Hopefully he can have a good quarterback throwing to him for the rest of the season, but with Carson Wentz, you never know. Then we got Jack Doyle, their tight end, 5 carries for 64 yards. Then Zach Pascal, 5 receptions for 38 yards and a touchdown. Mo Alley Cox, 1 catch for 18 yards. Nyheim Hines, 1 catch for 17 yards. So overall, Michael Pittman Jr. was doing the bulk of the work. Tight end was doing the second bulk of the work, and then everybody else just filling in. But overall, this Colts team, man, no Carson Wentz, no buyability, no believability. Even with Carson Wentz, like we said, we are 100% off. So we'll see how long he's going to be out for. We get this right here. Quarterback Carson Wentz is dealing with injuries to not just one ankle, but both ankles. Both ankles, folks. Are you kidding me? 2 ankles, both feet. He's breaking them. What the hell is going on? So we'll know more about the Carson Wentz injury as we progress through this week. Just quickly here, let's read this. Colts quarterback Carson Wentz will undergo further evaluation on his right ankle after injuring it in the 4th quarter of Sunday's loss to the Rams. But now we're hearing that it's both ankles. So like we said, new information is constantly coming out. It's not reported by ESPN in this article about him having both ankles kind of being injured, but per NFL Network, they do say it is both ankles. So obviously, we'll know more when tests come out. All right, so Wentz suffered the injury when he tried to scramble and was taken to the ground by Rams defensive lineman Aaron Donald on 3rd down with less than 8 minutes left in the game. And then Frank Reich said this about it, quote, "He rolled it pretty bad. I had a sense when he walked off the field, it didn't look good. Sometimes if you go back in right away when it's still warm, you can maybe gun out a few more plays. The longer we were off the field, it stiffened up and he tried, but there was no chance." So this is not looking good for Carson Wentz, folks. Like we said, it's just too much. It's just too much. It's unfortunate. Like, I don't want to. I'm not, I'm not getting any joy out of being 100% off of Carson Wentz, but this is what it's come to. How are we just going to keep buying into him and waiting around and waiting around and waiting around? I mean, at some point, we're going to cut you off. We're going to give you all the benefit of the doubt. I mean, that's what we do, folks. I mean, we don't instantly write you off. Just talk about Cam Newton. We gave him all last season buying into him, and then even this season, we were taking it slowly but surely, and we never really wanted to be 100% off of Cam Newton. We were always kind of hovering about 1 to 5% buyability into Cam Newton, and then obviously when he was cut, we were 100% off of him, but we give y'all the opportunities. I mean, we do not just write you off after one bad play, one bad game, anything like that. We give you your opportunities. We give you, I mean, everybody cries about, oh, we need a second chance, we need a third chance. Why aren't you giving me a 4th chance out here? We give y'all that, folks. It's all recorded. It's on the record. Everything we say is on the record, folks. We give y'all the chances here, but it has come. It has come, folks. It is done. I'm done. I'm off of Carson Wentz. The injuries are a problem. They are a habit. They are a guarantee at this point. These injuries are a guarantee. Every single year, Carson Wentz will be injured. It's not when. It's not if. It's not if. It is when. When will this man get injured? Week 1, week 2, playoffs? I mean, he literally shown it could happen at any point. He got into a playoff game where he went the entire regular season, no injuries, and then he gets into the playoffs, and then bingo, bango, he's out. I mean, no more Carson Wentz. It is unfortunate. Carson Wentz, you may be able to just kind of, be here for this year. You come back maybe 1-2 weeks later, you can fill it out for the rest of this year, but the Colts will be moving off of Carson Wentz next year. Guaranteed. So Rams get the win 27-24. This was one of our picks from last night. One of our official week 2 picks. We had Rams -3.5, and unfortunately we get bit by that half a point hook. Classic as always. Always try to buy that half a half a point hook down if you're swallowing the points, or get that half a point hook if you're buying the points. But yeah, we get hit by that half a point hook. It happens. Unfortunate. We will still count it as a victory in our book because our thinking is right on track. Unfortunately, the half a point hook kills us, but we will still take the right. That's the right answer. I mean, this Rams team, they won the game. I mean, it was clear that they were a little bit better overall than this Colts team. I don't know if Carson Wentz would have been able to lead them down, in that kind of, final drive before he got injured, when they were down, if he would have led them back. I don't know, but I don't think they would have. But I think the Rams defense would have clamped up. But either way, Rams win by 3, 27-24. Alrighty, next game up here is the Raiders and the Steelers, and look at this. The Raiders early on in the season are good. I mean, this doesn't surprise us. It shouldn't surprise anybody. This Raiders true test comes at kind of week 8, 9, week 10, when it's the turning point from the first half of the season to the back half of the season, when everybody has kind of a lot of tape on you, and you kind of have to kind of figure some things out and kind of change some things and kind of switch things up offensively, defensively, so people can't recognize what play you're running by your formation because they've watched 7 weeks of film on you and know what your offense is and know what your strengths are. So this Raiders team starts the season off 2-0. Give them credit for that, but their true test will start week 9, 10. Yeah, week 9, 10. We'll start looking at them a little bit more in depth and putting a bigger eye on them. But we'll give them credit for the win last night over the Steelers, 26-17 on the road. Very well done. So let's start with this Raiders team. Derek Carr was slinging the ball around like we know, and once again, it's just like those opinions of Derek Carr, of him not being a good quarterback, is just like, what are y'all talking about? The only thing that is wrong with this team overall is John Gruden, and we know that because they flounder in the back end of the season. If you're good in the first end and bad in the second end, that doesn't mean that you're not good talent-wise. You've literally proven you've got the good talent. That's why you came out of the gate firing. But if you don't switch things up and you get complacent, then that's coaching, and John Gruden's the coach, and they floundered the last 2 years in the back end of the season. So we've never been off of Derek Carr. We've been a supporter of Derek Carr. Once again, that's on the record. You can go back. But Derek Carr, let's see what he does here. 28 of 37 from last night. That's 75%, folks. Absolutely fantastic for 382 yards, not dinking and dunking, truly slinging this ball around. 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, and I don't believe he fumbled either. Oh, he did fumble twice. Didn't lose any of them. So hold on to the ball a little bit, Derek, but didn't lose any, so we give him a little credit there. Slinging the ball around. The running game was not as good as the passing game, obviously. Peyton Barber was their leading rusher here. 13 carries for 32 yards. Really didn't, Kenyon Drake, I mean, they try to give him his rushes. I wish they would have kind of given him the ball a little bit more and consistently, and gave him kind of those premier carries, but Kenyon Drake, 7 carries for only 9 yards. And, we told you all week, hey, don't worry about Josh Jacobs not being in because Kenyon Drake can carry the workload, but that man just laid a stinker out here. But running backs, the Steelers were shutting down the running game. Peyton Barber only 32 yards, Kenyon Drake only 9 yards. Nobody was getting 3 yards a carry, anything like that. So we give credit to the Steelers defense for locking down the rushing game. Very well done. All right, now let's see who Derek Carr was targeting on all these 380-plus yards. So here we go. Leading receiver here for the Raiders is Henry Ruggs, 5 receptions for 113 yards and a touchdown. Darren Waller, their second leading receiver, 5 receptions for 65 yards. Now, he was only targeted 7 times. Derek Carr, distributing, the wealth here of the targets. We saw Darren Waller have 16 targets week 1. He spread the wealth here. Henry Ruggs had 7 targets. That was the most. Darren Waller had 7 targets. That was tied for the most, like we were saying. Hunter Renfrow, 7 targets as well. Just truly spreading it around. So well done. And as we're talking about Hunter Renfrow, he was the 3rd leading receiver here. 5 catches for 57 yards. Kenyon Drake, 5 catches for 46 yards. Once again, the good dual threat running back there. So I'm glad that Kenyon Drake got some kind of good production, whether it was in the running game or the passing game. Obviously here the passing game, so that's good. I'd like to see Kenyon Drake be good in this league. I think he's a real solid, serviceable tier 1 running back in this league. Give him credit for that. So overall, everybody was getting it done here for this Raiders passing attack, and they put up 26 points, so we give them credit for that. All right. Now let's talk about the Steelers team, and we'll see, what is going on. The Steelers only putting up 17 points at home, and we saw them struggle offensively last week, and we just kind of chalked it up about the Bills' defense and them being in the road in week one and all that. But once again, the offense is a little bit lackluster overall in the points department. When you're just looking at kind of their stats, they all look pretty solid right here. Everybody's kind of doing what they're supposed to be doing, but it's not resulting into constant wins and consistent points throughout the entire game. So this Steelers offense, Matt Canada, the offensive coordinator, the new offensive coordinator for this year, maybe he's truly not getting it done out here. So we're going to have to keep an eye on the Steelers team as the season progresses. But so far, the offense has been a little bit lackluster of what it truly should be, especially this rushing game. I mean, Najee Harris had a big stiff arm, and we're going to shout it out in a minute. But man, oh man, I mean, he's not even getting out to great. So maybe, we put too much, pressure on James Conner. We put, we kind of clowned James Conner too much last season for not getting it done in the rushing department, but maybe it's just the Steelers' offensive line and their overall rushing scheme, because Najee Harris isn't even getting it done either. But let's talk about Big Ben very quickly, and then we'll move on to everything else here. Big Ben goes 27 of 40. That is 67% completion percentage. We love it. 295 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. The interception came on the second drive of the game here for the Steelers, and the Raiders do cash in 3 points off of it. Very well done by the Raiders, cashing in on the turnovers. All right, then we get the leading rusher here, Najee Harris. He had 10 carries for 38 yards. Would love to see this Steelers team kind of rush the ball a lot more. I really want to see the Steelers team utilize kind of like the Titans, where the rushing game is kind of the main attack, and then just having, their great wide receivers that they have, and, their solid quarterback in Ryan Tannehill, just let them kind of be the second option here. But, they're really not doing that. Only 10 carries for Najee Harris. 38 yards, it's okay, it's good, but, definitely could be a lot more. Definitely need it to be a lot more if this Steelers team wants to start kind of, putting the points on the board. All right, now let's see who Ben Roethlisberger was throwing to. We got Deontay Johnson, leading receiver here, 9 catches for 105 yards. Chase Claypool, 3 receptions for 70 yards. Najee Harris had 5 receptions for 43 yards and a touchdown, and that's what we know Najee Harris can do, a nice dual threat kind of running back out here. He's got a good hands in the catching game. He's got good speed and athleticism and how to kind of beat the linebackers and all that. So he got it done in the passing game. We love seeing that. Then we get Juju Smith-Schuster, 6 carries for 41 yards. So overall, we need the Steelers offense just to do a little bit more. Let's see what they were doing on their drive charts. Why did they only put up 17 points this game? That seems lackluster. No, to me. I think it should seem lackluster to everybody else as well. All right, so here we go. Their drive chart, 6 plays for 14 yards at the punt, their first drive. Second drive is that interception like we were talking about. Third drive goes 10 plays, 50 yards, chews up 4 minutes and 38 seconds, but it's a turnover on downs. 4th and 4 at the Raiders' 38-yard line. They can't pick it up. It's a pass incomplete to Chase Claypool. How unfortunate. All right, then they are finally able to get on the board with a drive. 7 plays, 75 yards for a touchdown. But then it's the end of half, so they go into halftime with 7 points. Out of halftime, their first drive, 6 plays, 20 yards at the punt. Second drive out of halftime, 6 plays, 28 yards at the punt. Third drive out of halftime, they go down and score a field goal, making it a 2-point game. 5 plays, 80 yards, and a touchdown. But then the defense gives up a touchdown. The offense, like we said, I mean, they can't answer. They're not stringing along good drives on top of good drives on top of good drives. So, having to go back-to-back touchdown drives just to stay competitive in this game, just to kind of stay close and losing in this game, that's definitely not what the Steelers were made of last night. And then their next drive, 3 and out, 3 plays, 9 yards. Then their next drive right here, 8 plays, 30 yards, but they have to settle for a field goal. Then the Raiders score another field goal, making it a 9-point game, and then there's no time to come back for because there's only 20 seconds on the clock. So this Steelers offense is truly going to have to get it figured out. Who's holding them back? Is it the offensive play calling? Is it the execution? All we know so far is that they're very, very lackluster offensively, not getting it done. This is not the Steelers offense that we were kind of rooting and hyping up in the offseason. So hopefully they can get back on track here come week 3, but they end up losing at home 26-17 to the Raiders. Alrighty, and then before we kind of close out this game, let's give credit to Najee Harris officially being introduced to the NFL with the stiff arm of the week, folks. Look at the stiff arm. Fantastic right here. I believe this is on Jonathan Abrams, the safety. The safety for the Raiders. Man, oh man, this stiff arms, I mean, obviously, nothing gets better than a nice, absolute perfection stiff arm here. You know, Derrick Henry on Josh Norman. I mean, one of the best in NFL history. And Najee Harris trying to get right. And, man, oh, man, just says, get off me. And then is able to go another 5, 6, 7 yards here. Just look at how he just kind of winds up and how he so forcefully pushes Jonathan Abram off him. I mean, just look at that, putting everything into that. Sheesh. So, welcome to the league, Najee Harris, blessing, baptizing Jonathan Abrams. Absolutely gotta love it. One more time. Sheesh. Well done, Najee Harris. Love it. Alrighty, next game up here. Here we go. It's the Bengals at the Bears, and another quarterback goes down, and this time it's Andy Dalton. Womp, womp. So, Matt Nagy has to go with Justin Fields, and Justin Fields doesn't look the best out there. I mean, let's start here with the Bears. So Andy Dalton, he goes 9 of 11, but it's only for 56 yards, folks. This is what we're talking about. Andy Dalton dinking, donking, not doing anything in this game. He did have a passing touchdown. Congratulations. You go to Allen Robinson. I mean, obviously that's who you should be targeting for 11 yards for a touchdown, but it's just like, okay. I mean, they had great field position on this first drive anyway. They start at hey. Where do they start at? They started at their own 25-yard line. Hang on. Does that make sense? 25-yard line? Is that right? Oh, they had a 32-yard penalty. That's why. Okay. But they had a 32-yard penalty. What do we get here? Obviously, pass interference. Yeah, defensive pass interference. Is that on Eli Apple? Damn you, Eli Apple. It is on Eli Apple. Look at this, man. Damn it. Always a solid, serviceable corner in this league. But man, oh, man. Some of the penalties that man gives up. Unfortunate. Yeah, the Bears go down on their first drive. They score a touchdown. Congratulations. But it's like, once again, Andy Dalton only throwing 56 yards. Is that impressive to us on 9 throws? I mean, that's 5 yards of completion. That's dink and dunk, folks. He had 81% completion percentage, which is good. But still, at the same time, it's not a lot of throws and it's not a lot of yards. So, Andy Dalton being classic Andy Dalton, but he does go down. And then Justin Fields gets into the game, and he doesn't look great. I mean, he's kind of floundered, and they're lucky that they had to face the Bengals, or they probably would have lost this game. But Justin Fields goes 6 of 13 for 6 yards, no touchdown, and interception. Not great. He also fumbled the ball, didn't lose it, but still fumbled the ball. Never great. Let's see what happened on this interception. It was a pick 6, so that's definitely not great. Or no, this is Joe Burrow throwing pick 6s. And then he threw another interception and then another interception. I mean, it's really, woof. But then Justin Fields throws an interception with about 3 minutes and 50 seconds left in the game. The Bengals go down and score, make it a 3-point game, and then that is the end of it. But Justin Fields, we'll see who's going to start week 3 next week. Andy Dalton is not looking anything major here. We get this. So here we go from Ian Rappaport. More on Bears quarterback Andy Dalton. The initial exams did show no ACL tear and no damage to the MCL, source said. MRI today, but the early diagnosis of bone bruise would show he dodged major injury. That would be good news considering what it looked like at first glance. So we are still not knowing the full extent here of Andy Dalton's injury, but it doesn't seem anything structural. So wouldn't be out for a huge period of time. Maybe misses a week, maybe even doesn't. So we'll keep an eye on that. And, after the showing, does this give Matt Nagy confidence in rolling with Justin Fields? Or does this kind of, move, and kind of delay the plan? Remember Matt Nagy's plan with Justin Fields? They have a plan in place. Does this speed up the plan, or does this kind of delay the plan, given his kind of little bit of a lackluster performance, a flounder performance out here? So the Bears squeak out the win 20-17. Andy Dalton revenge game doesn't kind of be able to get completed in this game because of the injury, and the Bears squeak away with a 3-point win. But this is a real bad look here for Joe Burrow. But before we get to that, let's finish off this Bears team stats quickly. Here we go. David Montgomery, 20 carries for 61 yards. That's real solid. Justin Fields has 10 carries for 31 yards himself. Andy Dalton was like, well, I know Justin Fields about to be running, so let me get my runs in, but still can't outrun Justin Fields. 2 rushes for Andy Dalton for 25 yards. And let's see who the Bears quarterbacks were going to, Andy Dalton and Justin Fields. Leading receiver, Darnell Mooney, 6 receptions for 64 yards. Allen Robinson, 2 receptions for 24 yards in that touchdown. David Montgomery, 3 receptions for 18 yards. So overall, I mean, the passing attack here is nothing great, like we say. I mean, this Bears team doesn't have great wide receivers, and now you're, doing a quarterback carousel right here in the narrative that we know Justin Fields is going to play, but he's not starting yet. So all that is truly taking a toll. The Bears are going to have to get it figured out and solidified here going forward. I don't think you can go back to Andy Dalton after the injury and then go back to Justin Fields like 2 or 3 weeks later when you feel like he's come to fruition on the plan to playing him. So it's going to be an interesting decision what decision Matt Nagy makes at quarterback, but we know he's been making the wrong decision for the last 4 years, so we don't expect him to make the right one come this week. So Bears to get a 3-point win, but that's not a really kind of confidence building win, I would say. Alrighty, now let's talk about Joe Burrow, because it truly felt like he threw away this game. He single-handedly kind of gave away this game. So Joe Burrow goes 19 of 30 passing the ball, which is 63%, is on the lower end of what we like. 207 yards, which is not terrible. He had 2 passing touchdowns, great, but 3 interceptions. You cannot do that to Joe Burrow, especially back to back. I mean, that's 3 straight possessions of your defense kind of having to go out there quickly, of the Bears offense being able to kind of get into a nice rhythm. After the first interception drive, they're like, okay, yeah, we're feeling good. And, after the second one, they're like, okay, now we're feeling good off of the first one still, coming out in the second one, the second interception drive. And then the third one, they're like, damn, we're already warmed up. It's like, woof, we're good to go. Everything's flowing here. So let's see where these 3 interceptions came back to back. So the first one was a pick 6 when they were only down 10-3. They had a chance to potentially tie up the game on this drive. They're at the Bears' 48-yard line, and he throws a pick 6. Now they're down 17-13. Then he throws another interception. And luckily for the Bengals, the Bears have to punt. They go 3 now. Justin Fields wasn't able to do anything with that ball, unfortunately. And then Joe Burrow gets the ball back, and he throws another interception. And this time, the Bears do score and capitalize on it, making it 20-3, basically kind of closing out the game, making it 2 scores. And then the Bengals, they go down and score a touchdown. Or it was a 3-score game going up 20-3. Then the Bengals score another touchdown, making it 20-10, and potentially coming back here because Justin Fields throws another interception, and the Bengals come and make it 20-17. But at that point, it is too late. The Bears just run out the time for the rest of the game. So decently competitive game until Joe Burrow started throwing all these interceptions. We also have a fumble as well. Who fumbled the ball? T. Higgins. Oof. Unfortunately, he fumbled the ball in the third quarter, which led to 3 more points there by the Bears. So the Bengals gave up 13 points. They gave up 13 points on turnovers, and they only lose by 3. So the Bengals, we believe they are a good team. We believe this is like a serviceable team, but when you're throwing 3 interceptions and fumbling and giving up 17 points on turnovers, you're never going to win that game. So just unfortunate there by the Bengals. We need Joe Burrow to clean it up, truly. All right, Joe Mixon was their only rusher from yesterday. 20 carries for 69 yards, real solid. Let's see who Joe Burrow was throwing to. Tyler Boyd, 7 receptions for 73 yards. T. Higgins, 6 receptions for 60 yards and a touchdown. He did fumble as well. Jamar Chase, 2 receptions for 54 yards, and he scored a touchdown. Well done. Jamar Chase is still getting it going. He had 4 targets, 2 receptions. I think we'll take a little bit of a quick look at Jamar Chase on Wednesday's film study to see if these incompletions that he had, both of them were on Joe Burrow or himself. We'll keep an eye on it. But 2 receptions for 54 yards and a touchdown. Jamar Chase is still getting it done here in the regular season. Give that man credit. So, Bengals just truly floundered in this game. Justin Fields didn't look that great. We'll see what happens week 3 for both these teams, and we'll see what quarterback they're going to rock with. Alrighty, next game up is the Texans and the Browns, folks. And we told y'all, folks, right? Come on, give credit to this Texans team. Just truly unfortunate. Another quarterback goes down here, Tyrod Taylor. But when Tyrod Taylor was in this game, it was competitive. It was close. It still ended close. So this is what we're saying. You've got to give respect to this Texans team. Now, moving forward, it's all going to really depend on Tyrod Taylor. I'm not buying into Davis Mills, who would be kind of their next man up. They're still not going to start Deshaun Watson. Don't let that kind of come in your head and be like, oh, Tyrod's out. Now they go back to Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod Taylor does not want to play for Houston. And then in counterpart to that, Houston doesn't want that man playing for them either. So it is 100% done. They will not start Deshaun Watson anymore. Deshaun Watson is no longer a Houston Texan. He is only a Houston Texans because, he signed under them. They're trying to actively get rid of him. We know this. But they want all the full value for him, and they won't play him. So, Deshaun Watson is out of the question here. It's either going to be Tyrod Taylor if he's healthy or Davis Mills if he's not ready to go. But either way, let's start here with this Texans team and give credit to Tyrod Taylor. The man was looking real good before he got injured and a little bit of a hamstring injury. And this is kind of what we've been seeing out of these kind of dual threat quarterbacks that, are real good, but injuries kind of, plague them, or just kind of, them not being kind of the greatest to kind of earn the starting spot. So they kind of have to be the second string. We saw that with RG3 last season, got his opportunity to come in the game. But what happened? He was kind of running out of the pocket, moving, and then it caught up to him later in the game. He kind of pulls his hamstring. He's out, and then he never plays again. Tyrod Taylor, dual threat quarterback, having to kind of sit the bench because the doctor puncturing his lung last season in LA, and then he's kind of sitting back up here throughout the kind of off season a little bit before we truly know what was going on with Deshaun Watson. Then he gets in and he plays game 1, looks good, but then as he progresses, that hamstring starts to tighten up because you just haven't been active throughout the last 8 years consistently, and I think that has something to do with it. Not everything to do with it, but I do think, him kind of sitting and not being out there, as a starter, because we know it's truly different on your body being a starter and being not a starter, being a backup, whatever it is. So I think Tyrod Taylor kind of took, the bad side of kind of being being kind of a bench player and not kind of playing every single game. Yeah, you're not wearing out your body, but your body's getting a little bit kind of, cold overall. So Tyrod Taylor pulls his hamstring in this game and unfortunately exits, but hopefully it's nothing too serious. So far, I believe they're saying day-to-day with him. Here we go. David Culley said the Texans are taking it, quote, day-to-day with Tyrod Taylor's hamstring injury. Team could call up practice squad, but Deshaun Watson isn't playing. Quote, our team has the utmost confidence in Davis Mills. So, like we said, they're not going to Deshaun Watson. But Tyrod Taylor, 10 of 11 for 125 yards passing and 1 touchdown. Real solid. He also had 1 carry for 15 yards, and that's kind of for a touchdown, which was great, but that's kind of where he kind of pulled it and hobbled him a little bit. And then as he tried to progress in, we have to remember he kind of got injured second quarter, folks. Did Davis Mills play any in the second half or in the first half? No, they kind of go with Davis Mills right out of the gate. Yeah, Davis Mills right out of the gate in the second half. So Tyrod Taylor played the entire first half, and it was a tie game, 14-14. Looked real solid right there, folks. So that's what we're talking about. This Texans team is kind of, real competitive. I'm not putting it as obviously the top 10 or top 20 teams in this league. Not even kind of top 25, but they're not the worst. I'm putting the Lions underneath them. I'd put the Jets underneath them. I would put, who else do we got here from this week? I think I'm putting one more team under them. I'm putting the Falcons under them all day. I like this Texans team better than the Falcons. So this is not the worst team in the league, and I think they can be really competitive this entire year. I love how they're handling the distraction of Deshaun Watson. They're doing it perfectly. It's really not causing any issues with the team overall in itself. So for that, they're coming out, all the players and the coaches, a clear mind. Deshaun Watson's not in the back of the mind, the distraction, the media attention's not in the back of their mind, and they're coming out and playing real solid football out here. So give huge credit to this Texans team. Yes, he didn't win this game, but if Tyrod Taylor played the entire second half, they may have, and this was one of our picks here that we felt so confident in. Texans plus 12.5. They only lose by 10. They cover. Bingo, bango. That's a hit for us. So, give credit to this Texans team, folks. We will be, and we still will come next week. We don't want to give him that much credit if it's Davis Mills, but we'll see what he can do. We'll watch him a little bit in our Wednesday film study coming up this week to see if he's got what it takes. Davis Mills goes 8 of 18 for 102 yards, 1 touchdown and 1 interception. Let's see what 8 of 18 is. That's less than 50%. That's not great. 44%, which is not great. And then that interception, let's see where it came. That interception came on his second drive, and then the Browns go down and score a field goal off of that. But what is great is that Davis Mills then goes on a big drive after that interception and scores a touchdown, making it a 3-point game again. So that's what we're saying. They were decently able to kind of, only one drive. They were really, 2 drives right here. They moved the ball here in the second half. 16 plays, 63 yards with Davis Mills, and then 9 plays, 55 yards. That results into a missed field goal from only 41 yards out. So overall, this was a close competitive game. Basically should have only been a 1-possession loss, which was fantastic. So give credit to this Texans team. Who else do we have to give credit to on this Texans team? Let's keep going over their stats here. Mark Ingram, 14 carries for 41 yards, real solid. David Johnson, 6 carries for 25 yards. Tyrod Taylor, like we said, Phillip Lindsay, 5 carries for 2 yards. I also would have just started running the ball in the second half as well. I mean, this is another team that can get it done running back by committee-wise. Texans and Colts, they've got 3 deep, great running backs right there. So, with the injuries with the quarterback, Carson Wentz, Tyrod Taylor, your backup quarterback's not being that great, you can truly just rely on these running backs. Mark Ingram, David Johnson, Phillip Lindsay, those are 3 exceptional running backs in this league. With the Colts, Jonathan Taylor, Marlon Mack, Nyheim Hines, all exceptional right there. If both of these kind of running back by committees, Texans and the Colts, were going against each other, who do we go with? Mark Ingram, David Johnson, Phillip Lindsay versus Jonathan Taylor, Marlon Mack, or Nyheim Hines? I think I go with the Colts just because a little bit younger overall. Mark Ingram is really kind of older out here. David Johnson, Phillip Lindsay still in their prime. And that's no disrespect to Mark Ingram. I mean, he's getting it done. He truly got it done last week. Leading rusher for the Texans, and once again, leading rusher for the Texans. So that's not a diss and not a knock to Mark Ingram. It's just the fact he's a little bit older. He's the oldest out of those 3 that we just named, or those 6 that we just named. But overall, still serviceable. Well done by the running game. All right, and then the passing game. Who were these quarterbacks going to? And once again, look at who the leading wide receiver is here for the Texans team. Like it was in Week 1, Brandon Cooks. Give that man some respect. 9 receptions, 78 yards, and a touchdown. Then we have Andre Roberts, only 1 catch for 35 yards. And then Nico Collins, 1 catch for 32 yards. David Johnson, the running back, 2 catches for 22 yards. Phillip Lindsay, 1 catch for 22 yards. Jordan Akins, 1 catch for 17 yards. So everything besides, Brandon Cooks, everything else was real lackluster. Brandon Cooks had 14 targets. The next highest targets was 2, and that was spread between 3 different players. So the Texans were really just kind of focusing on their main man, Brandon Cooks. So well done for him. All right, now let's talk about this Browns team now. Baker Mayfield, and once again, Baker Mayfield's not looking the clutchest out here. When this was a close game, we get a fumble and we get an interception. Let's see who fumbled this ball. It was Donovan Peoples-Jones, unfortunate. So this Browns team, it was 7-7. Baker Mayfield throws an interception. It makes it 14-7 because the Texans capitalized on that interception. And Baker Mayfield got a little kind of knocked around in this game. There was a second there that he could have been knocked out for the entire game. He comes back in, takes it like a champ. I think, his shoulder popped in and out. Baker Mayfield says his left shoulder, quote, popped in and out during the win over the Texans. And we saw that play, and we'll probably look at it a little bit on Wednesday. But I believe it was like on the interception throw. I think it was like the same thing. Yeah, Baker Mayfield was injured on the interception, all that. Shoulder popped in and out, no big deal. Comes right back in, but he still threw a pick when it was close. That's what we're talking about. Baker Mayfield, clutch ability, not truly there. But let's talk about his stats. Here we go. 19 of 21. That's great. I mean, 2 incompletions, fantastic, and one of those passes was an interception. So give credit to Baker Mayfield doing that. Like we said, game-managing quarterback. That's exactly what we're talking about. 90% completion percentage. Fantastic. 213 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, unfortunately. Let's see when his touchdown pass came. Here we go. It comes in the third quarter when they were tied 14-14. Baker Mayfield throws a 33-yard passing touchdown to take a 7-point lead. We will definitely take that. But that's kind of what after Tyrod Taylor's out of the game. They have a little bit more extra momentum out of that. But we'll still give Baker Mayfield his due right there. The game manager, fantastic. All right, and then the running game obviously gets it done. I mean, fantastic right here. Nick Chubb, 11 carries for 95 yards, 1 touchdown, fantastic. Kareem Hunt, 13 carries for 51 yards once again. Running back by committee, Thunder and Lightning getting it done. Bingo, bango. And then let's see who Baker Mayfield was targeting in this game. Demetric Felton, leading receiver here for the Browns, 2 receptions for 51 yards and a touchdown. Harrison Bryant, 4 receptions, 49 yards, no touchdown. Jarvis Landry, I believe, exited this game real early on, so he only had 1 catch for 9 yards. OBJ, a no-go for this game, and Baker Mayfield still able to utilize those other receiving talents on this team to put up 31 yards, to throw the ball 213 yards, to win the game by 10. So give credit to Kevin Stefanski in the play calling right here, and everybody truly playing up to their potential right here to get the 10-point win. So well done for the Browns. Baker Mayfield being efficient. That 1 interception, unfortunate, but he puts it together, throws a touchdown in the second half, wins them the game, no big deal. And the Texans, give them credit for keeping it close without Tyrod Taylor. What would have happened if Tyrod Taylor was in the game in the second half? A potential win, also a potential loss, but potential win right there. Give this Texans team credit. Stop overlooking this Texans team. I believe they are solid, and I think I like their new head coach, and I think they can kind of have a short turnaround rebuild here where we're talking about this Houston Texans team, again, in the kind of top tier, top echelon, top 15-ish come next season. If they can get the quarterback figured right come next year, I believe they can be competitors. So, Browns get the win 31-21. Alrighty, next game up. Damn, we still got 4, 5, 6 games to go over. Jeez Louise. Alrighty, let's keep going here. Here we go. Saints at Panthers, and man, oh man, we put a little bit too much confidence in the Saints team. Now, we did take this game in our moneymaker. In our official picks this week, we had the Saints minus 3.5. Now, that was not that we were buying into the Saints. We just we really kind of bet this game and took the Saints minus 3.5 because of the Panthers not shutting the door on the Jets last week. So it was more to do with the Panthers not being great this week than the Saints being great last week. Unfortunately, however you slice it, we were wrong, unfortunately. But let's talk about this game. Here we go. Saints-Panthers. Panthers win 26-7, and the Saints were not able to move the ball the entire game. That was the narrative. That was the story of the game, folks. Jameis Winston. And that's why we were a little concerned last week, because Jameis Winston, yeah, he had 5 touchdowns, but it only came with 140 passing yards. And that's why we were questioning the game and the Jameis Winston. We liked that Jameis Winston was great in the red zone, and that's what kind of gave us a little confidence going in that he wasn't turning over the ball and that he was accurate as heck in the red zone. And we thought, kind of the overall offense in the passing game would kind of come along as the season progressed, but we didn't get that week 2. So Jameis Winston goes 11 of 22, 50% completion percentage for only 111 yards, no touchdown, and he had 2 interceptions, folks. Jameis Winston's interceptions are back. Now, how does he kind of go along with this kind of narrative and discussion and media attention on his back, reliving the 30 interception season? It's going to start this week, folks, so watch that ramped up in the media. Watch up this kind of quarterback controversy now ramped up in the media. Do they go to Taysom Hill? It's going to be interesting what they do to week 3. But Jameis Winston, nothing great. 2 interceptions. Let's see where these interceptions came. First interception came in the third quarter. Luckily, the Panthers had no time to do anything with the ball. 23 seconds left. They can't do anything with it. It's the end of half. Second interception comes in the fourth quarter on their basically last drive when it was already 26-7. The game was over. 3 minutes left in the game. And the Panthers don't put up any points with this. So Jameis Winston gets bailed out when he throws those interceptions. So, all right, not too bad on Winston's part. The worst thing than those 2 interceptions were just not moving the ball the entire game. All right, leading rushers here with Jameis Winston. Now we know why they lost the game. This is where the problem is. The leading rusher is Jameis Winston? What the hell is that? That man's not even a dual threat quarterback. Why is that man rushing? 3 carries for 19 yards, and he had a rushing touchdown. Jeez. Second leading rusher for the Saints team, Taysom Hill. 2 carries for 16 yards. What the hell? Where are these running backs? Tony Jones, 3 carries for 7 yards. Alvin Kamara, 8 carries for 5 yards. What the hell was up with this rushing game? Panthers were locking up this rushing game. Jeez Louise. Damn. Saints could not run the ball. That is why they lost. Jeez. All right, and then let's see who Jameis Winston was throwing to. We got Lil Jordan Humphrey, 1 reception for 27 yards. Alvin Kamara, 4 receptions for 25 yards. Juwan Johnson, 1 reception, 23 yards. Chris Hogan, 1 reception, 16 yards. So not going to anybody consistently, not going to anybody big, and they flounder and not able to move the ball. I mean, that's literally what it was. The Saints could not move the ball. I mean, look at these drive charts, folks. 3 and out, 3 and out, 5 plays, 19 yards, 6 plays, interception. After halftime, 3 and out. Next drive, 5 plays, 8 yards. Next drive, 3 and out. Next drive, 5 plays, 18 yards. That was a touchdown because, coming off of an interception here by Sam Darnold, unfortunately. Next drive, 3 and out. Next drive, 4 plays, turnover on downs, moving 0 yards. Next drive, interception. They did not move the ball at all, folks. Trash. All right, so we'll see what they do come week 3 and if they start Taysom Hill, but let's start talking about this Panthers team now. Once again, they kind of left the door open a little bit here for the Saints team to kind of come in and take advantage. I mean, here we go. It's 10-0 at kind of the end of the second quarter. Then it's 17-0, and that's real solid. But once again, the third quarter, they don't put up any points or aren't able to move the ball, and that's what we saw last week. The Panthers in the third quarter really getting out to 3 and out, 3 and out, not picking up those first downs, and that's kind of what we got here in the third quarter as well. First drive, they go 10 plays, 30 yards, but then it's a blocked field goal, unfortunate. Then it's 3 and out, and then it's an interception. I mean, they left the door open. Now, luckily, the Saints couldn't do anything all game either, so they didn't take advantage of that open door. The Jets kind of took advantage of the open door last week, week 1, where they put up 14 points. It still ended up losing, but they were competitive. So the Panthers still leaving the door open. They shut the door in the fourth quarter, obviously, going up 23-7 and then 26-7, and that's definitely closing the door, but still little not great here by the Panthers. And we've seen the teams that they faced the last 2 weeks, the Jets and the Saints, and yeah, they're winning the game, so we'll give credit to the Panthers, but how they're doing and not really kind of closing it out and keeping and letting the team hang around. I mean, if you're going to face the Rams or the Bucks or the Chiefs, I mean, geez, you face the Chiefs, I mean, you leave the door open for the Chiefs. I mean, they're going to walk right through it, march right through it, bring everybody in. Andy Reid, the backup, the athletic director, or the athletic trainer, not director, the front office, everybody, the owner, the general manager, they will all come piling through that door wide open if you leave it open. So, little concern there by the Panthers, but they're 2-0. We give them credit. So let's start talking about this Panthers team now. Here we go. Sam Darnold goes 26 of 38. Let's see what that's all about. 26 of 38. We get 68% completion percentage. We'll take that all day. 305 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Like we said, overall pretty solid there by Sam Darnold. The interception coming in the third quarter, and it does result into a touchdown for the Saints. But that's the only way the Saints move the ball and we're good on offense was after the turnover. So Sam Darnold, not terrible overall, real solid so far. We'll give this man credit after 2 games. Christian McCaffrey, leading rusher, obviously 24 carries for 72 yards and a touchdown. Leading receivers, DJ Moore, well done by Sam Darnold, 8 receptions for 79 yards and a touchdown. But then it's Christian McCaffrey, second leading receiver here, 5 receptions for 65 yards, no touchdowns. Then it's Dan Arnold, 3 receptions for 55 yards. Brandon Zylstra, 3 receptions for 44 yards and a touchdown. Robbie Anderson, 3 receptions for 38 yards. So yeah, Sam Darnold slinging the ball around, spreading the wealth. We'll give him credit. So he did fumble, didn't lose it, but overall, promising game here by this Panthers team. Defense is looking real solid. How many sacks did they have on Jameis Winston? We had 1, 2, 3, 4 sacks on Jameis Winston. Real solid. So forced a couple of turnovers. Got the sacks, got the pressure. So this Panthers defense is real solid, and the offense is complementary to it. And, they're 2-0. So give credit to this Panthers team. We'll see what next week is looking like for them. Hopefully they start to face a little bit more of the competition here in the league. Alrighty, next game up here is the Vikings and the Cardinals. And once again, the Vikings, they lose because they are undisciplined, unsound, not coached, bad. So Vikings were a lot more competitive than we initially thought they would be in this game, but the overall essence of what the Vikings are ends up showing in this game, which is not clutch. Dalvin Cook fumbles in overtime. They lose the game because of that. And then the Vikings down 1 point, end of the game, ready to have a walk-off 37-yard field goal. 37 yards, and he misses. He misses it, folks. Joseph, let's get this man's full name up here. You need to be talked to, young fella. Here we go. The kicker here, Greg Joseph, was 2 of 2 all day long on field goals, hit a 52-yard long field goal. But then the pressure comes on. It's win or lose, all on the end of his foot, all on the big toe. And he misses a 37-yard field goal. So once again, nobody's clutch here on this Vikings team. Nobody's held accountable for their absolutely trash actions. And the Vikings fall 0-2. Now, they did only lose by 1 point, so I will give them credit. We had the Cardinals -4. Obviously, that doesn't cover. So we do give credit to the Vikings because of that, for covering with the 4 points. But, I mean, this Vikings team is the same old Vikings team that we know. Not clutch, nothing great. And they don't win the big games, and here we are this week. All right, so let's start talking about this game. Here we go. Kirk Cousins, 22 of 32. Sounds good. Let's see what the number is. Here we go. 22 of 32. Turns out to be 68% completion percentage. We love that. 244 yards, real solid. 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Didn't turn the ball over. Nobody turned the ball over here. Now, Kirk Cousins did fumble, didn't lose it. Adam Thielen also fumbled, didn't lose it. But they missed the last field goal. But once again, Kirk Cousins potentially fumbling. That's what we're talking about, folks. This Vikings team is so unclutch and not good or sound in any of their fundamentals, folks. It's truly not good. All right, the Dalvin Cook, 22 carries for 131 yards. He had a great game, but it still results in a loss. I mean, this is what we're talking about. The stats are always great. They always looked good. The optics of Kirk Cousins and Dalvin Cook are always good. That's kind of why they get a lot of play in the media, and that's why you can't really talk bad about this Vikings team because, the optics on paper look good, but when they lose always bad and always so bad, folks. All right, let's see who Kirk Cousins was throwing to. So here we go. Leading receiver was KJ Osborne, 5 receptions for 91 yards and a touchdown. Justin Jefferson, 6 receptions for 65 yards and a touchdown. Adam Thielen, 6 receptions for 39 yards and a touchdown. And then we have Dalvin Cook, 2 receptions for 17 yards. So, yeah, Kirk Cousins slinging it around, dividing up the wealth to his star players, getting it done. So, Vikings did everything right. They got out to a 7-0 lead. They ended up going up 20-7 at one point, everything looking good, and then it all comes crumbling down. They try to come back a little bit. They get a pick 6 to start the third quarter, looking real good, up again, and once again, they just lose. They just end up losing the game. Classic Vikings. Now let's talk about the Cardinals. Now, we just put them at number 2 in our power rankings overall. in week 1. Now we do the same thing on tomorrow's show during our Tuesday show when every team has played. And this Cardinals team, yeah, it was a close win that really shouldn't have been a win, but it was at the end of the day, and there were some great things learned here by the Cardinals, playing from behind and then playing with urgency when they need to score, and then they go out and do it. So I think we're still going to be riding high in this Cardinals team when we update our power rankings on Tuesday, but we'll have that on Tuesday. You'll have to come back and see officially what we do. But here we go. Let's start talking about this Cardinals team. Kyler Murray, 29 of 36. Great completion percentage. 80% completion percentage. 400 passing yards. That's what we're talking about. This Cardinals offense is great. The defense is definitely going to have to shore itself up a little bit after what it did last week against the Vikings, yesterday against the Vikings. He had 3 passing touchdowns, but 2 interceptions. Now, that is definitely what we do not want to see. Let's see where these interceptions came from by Kyler Murray. First interception was a pick 6 at the start of the third quarter. Not great. Not great. Second interception came in the third quarter, and the Vikings take and go out and score 3 points off of that. So 10 points came because of Kyler Murray's interception. So Kyler Murray only made this game close because he shot himself in the foot. If he doesn't take those turnovers, I don't know if the Vikings still put up those 10 points. I don't know if their offense is able to move the ball as well as it was doing in the first half than it was in the second half. All right, so Kyler Murray, good game besides the interceptions. Did he fumble? Rondale Moore fumbled but didn't lose it, so well done. All right, running backs here. Chase Edmonds, 8 carries for 46 yards, a great game. Kyler Murray ran the ball 5 times for 31 yards and scored a touchdown. And then we got James Conner, 8 carries for 26 yards. So running back by committee, not terrible overall. Let's see who Kyler Murray was throwing to in this game. Rondale Moore was the leading receiver here, the rookie. Well done. 7 receptions for 114 yards and 1 touchdown. Max Williams, 7 receptions for 94 yards. Christian Kirk, 3 receptions for 65 yards. And then we get DeAndre Hopkins, 4 receptions, 54 yards and a touchdown. And then we get A.J. Green, 3 receptions for 44 yards and a touchdown. And then we get Chase Edmonds, 5 receptions for 29 yards. So Kyler Murray giving the ball to all of his playmakers, not just relying on DeAndre Hopkins, which is another positive green flag here for buying into the Cardinals as we progress through the season. I loved what we saw from them. Yes, the defense gave up 33 points, and yes, they almost lost the game, but at the end of it, it's a win, and they still showed some good signs. So we're still buying into this Cardinals team, folks. We are still going to be buying into this Cardinals team, folks. All right. Love this Cardinals team, folks, truly. The offense is so freaking explosive. If the defense can clean it up a little bit, now we're talking. Now we're talking. So Cardinals get the 1-point win, 34-33. Classic loss here in classic Vikings fashion. Alrighty, let's talk about this Falcons at Bucks game. And once again, we are 1,000% off on this Falcons team because Matt Ryan just doesn't get it done. Super over this dude. They lose by 23 points here, 48-25, and non-competitive. So let's start here with the Falcons and break down Matt Ryan's awfulness out here. So Matt Ryan, 35 of 46. Now, once again, good completion percentage. This is good. 35 of 46. We got officially 76% completion percentage. We can get behind that. But 300 yards on 35 completions, that's dink and dunk. 2 touchdowns, that's fine. I'll give him that. But 3 interceptions, 100% off. I mean, folks, can y'all realize what Tom Brady is doing in this league, folks? I mean, Tom Brady threw 3 interceptions in the NFC Championship game and still won against Aaron Rodgers. Matt Ryan is throwing 3 interceptions here in the regular season game and is still losing. You cannot turn the ball over when you go against Tom Brady. He makes you pay for it every single time. And if Tom Brady throws a pick when you're going against him, you better hope you cash in every single time or you're going to lose. Tom Brady can throw 3 interceptions and win. We just see this all the time. You must make Tom Brady pay for all of his interceptions. I mean, folks, nobody gets away with throwing 3 interceptions besides Tom Brady. We see it right here. You throw 3 interceptions, you lose by 23 points. That's what it should be. That's what it should be in this league, folks. Jeez. Tom Brady, once again, so freaking gosh dang good. God dang. He's the only quarterback who throws 2 or 3 or 4 interceptions and still wins by like 20 points. It's like, what? What? How? So Matt Ryan, another trash game. Let's see where these interceptions came from. Who also fumbled? Who fumbled here? Was it Matt Ryan? Did Matt Ryan fumble too? We had Cordell Patterson. He fumbled. Didn't lose it though. Okay. Alrighty, but here we go. The interceptions. Interception 1 resulted into 7 points. Well done by Tom Brady capitalizing on a pick. Came in the third quarter. First drive after halftime, down 21-10. That's how you do it, Matt Ryan. That's how you get back into the game, throwing an interception. Absolute trash. I mean, this Falcons team, folks, Matt Ryan's not the answer. I mean, he's basically Jared Goff. Matt Ryan is Jared Goff. Y'all ready to have that discussion? That's what he is. All right, second interception came in the fourth quarter for a pick six. Pick six, another 7 points. And then his third interception, another pick six. 2 pick sixes and the fourth quarter trying to bring his team back. That's not how you do it. They're only down 10. You're down 10 points with 10 minutes left in the game. That's manageable. Is it looking good? No, but it's manageable. It could happen. Touchdown, 3 and out. Get another touchdown, you win the game. Or a field goal, you tie up the game going to overtime. But it's 25-35. Manageable game here for the Falcons. You throw a pick six, another pick six, and Matt Ryan is trash. We know this. So Matt Ryan's trash. I don't care about the yards. I don't care about the touchdowns. I don't care about the completion percentage. I see losses after losses after losses and getting blown out after getting blown out after getting blown out. I don't care if you put up 25 points. You still got blown out. I mean, it means nothing to me now. Whatever you did in this game means absolutely nothing, truly. All right, the rushing game is still nothing great here. Mike Davis, 9 carries for 38 yards. Cordell Patterson, 7 carries for 11 yards. Classic. I mean, he had a good game 1, but that's nothing that we know is consistent. He had a touchdown. We give him credit for that, we guess. All right, let's see who Matt Ryan was throwing to. Kyle Pitts, leading receiver here, 5 catches for 73 yards. We'll definitely watch Kyle Pitts on Wednesday's film study. Calvin Ridley, second leading receiver here, 7 catches for 63 yards and a touchdown. Cordero Patterson, 5 receptions for 58 yards and a touchdown. Russell Gage, 5 receptions for 28 yards. Overall, just throwing the ball and spreading the love and spreading the wealth, which we love, but it doesn't result into anything meaningful. So it doesn't matter, man. Matt Ryan, he's not the answer. You've got to move off of him. It's done. All right. Now let's talk about this Bucs team. Tom Brady does his thing. Oh, my goodness. Classic Tom Brady out here doing what he does, folks. Unstoppable. 48 points, 5 touchdowns, no picks. Classic. But here we go. He throws 24 of 36. That is 66% completion percentage. We'll take that. 276 yards, 5 touchdowns, no picks. Well done by Tom Brady at home. Can't stop him. He did fumble and lose it, so that's not great. All right. But it doesn't matter because, Atlanta doesn't do anything. After the Tom Brady fumble, they go 6 plays, 22 yards, and have to punt the ball. So, okay, it doesn't matter. I mean, once again, you must make Tom Brady. Will y'all make Tom Brady pay for throwing interceptions and fumbling the ball? Because y'all are just giving this dude wins. I mean, if you don't capitalize on Tom Brady's turnovers and mistakes, I mean, that just builds his own confidence. He's like, look at these bums. I give them a gift wrapped up, and they can't even do anything with it. I got to make them pay for that now. So it's just like, geez, folks, you must make this man pay for his mistakes. But nobody gets that memo, and that's why he's been to 10 Super Bowls and won 7 of them. Jeez. All right, the Bucs rushing attack. Leonard Fournette, 11 carries at 52 yards. Ronald Jones, 6 carries for 27 yards. Let's see who Tom Brady was throwing to. Mike Evans, 5 receptions, 75 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's too easy. Chris Godwin, 4 receptions, 62 yards, 1 touchdown. Rob Gronkowski has got to get in the action as well. 4 receptions, 39 yards, 2 touchdowns. I mean, sheesh, folks. Man, oh man, Tom Brady's slinging the ball around like he does. So, Falcons, Bucs. You don't make Tom Brady pay for turnovers, and you throw turnovers yourself, you're losing the game. And that's exactly what happened. Alrighty, next game up here. We got 3 more to go over quickly. Here we go. Titans at Seahawks. And wow, oh wow, this Titans team, impressive. That was impressive, folks. After giving week 1 in the first half of this game, we were already writing off this Titans team that they were truly not going to be able to live up to what they've done the last 2 seasons. But in that second half, when they just rode Derrick Henry, and that was the best part about this game, they were just riding Derrick Henry, and Derrick Henry brought them to the promised land to come back down. What was their biggest deficit? At halftime, they were down 24-9, folks. 24-9 at halftime. And then they were down 30-16 with 13 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and they come back and win the game. So we give credit to the Titans for sticking the course, winning on the road, winning when they were down, and they are now 1-1 instead of 0-2. So for that, the Titans have just rejuvenated their season after it really was looking like they were going to be down 0-2 and really just kind of done for the rest of the year. So well done for the Titans for saving their season. Absolutely fantastic. So Ryan Tannehill goes 27 of 40. 27 of 40. What is that completion percentage? 27 of 40. We got 67% completion percentage. We will take it. 347 yards. No touchdowns. No interceptions. I believe he did fumble the ball. He did fumble and lose it. Let's see where that came. Fumble came in the second quarter, and the Seahawks do what the Seahawks do and capitalize with the touchdown. Fantastic by them to go up 17-6. But other than that, Ryan Tannehill plays a pretty clean game, so we'll give him credit for that. Derrick Henry has finally arrived. Baby, week 1, nothing really at all. But week 2, Derrick Henry, 35 carries. Will teams start respecting the run game? I mean, folks, we see all these quarterbacks throwing the ball 50 times, 51 times, 57 times, 40-plus times. It's like, give some credit to these running backs. Derrick Henry can do it. 35 carries, 35 carries. When was the last time we've seen 35 carries? Derrick Henry. I mean, folks, we just went through all these games. Nobody's even close to 35 carries. And the second closest was like 22 by like Dalvin Cook. That's it. So got to give so much credit to Derrick Henry, the true only, if you can't call anybody else a workhorse running back. Derrick Henry is the whole horse. He's the whole stable of horses going at it, folks. Man, oh man, 35 carries for 182 yards and 3 touchdowns. Give this man credit. And I believe all these touchdowns, or the bulk of them, came in the second half. Here we go in the third quarter when they were down 24-9. Derrick Henry, 9-yard touchdown to get them back down 8 points, 1 possession game. Then we get Derrick Henry when they were down 30-16, back down 2 possessions. Derrick Henry, 60-yard touchdown, down 7 points now. And then Derrick Henry, when they're down 7 points, 1-yard touchdown run, ties the game at 30-30. And then on this field goal drive, getting the ball in overtime. It did go to an overtime, folks. Getting down into overtime, Derrick Henry starting at the Seahawks 39-yard line, 12-yard run, 4-yard run, 1-yard run, 4-yard run, gets them down to Seattle's 18-yard line, and they're able to kick the field goal. So they just put Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry puts the team on his back and says, I will carry you to the promised land. So let's kind of celebrate Derrick Henry with some quick highlights right here. Very, very quick. Here we go. This is the 60-yard touchdown run. Untouched right there. And then the fast speed beats everybody to the sideline. I mean, folks, just look how fast this man is, folks. He doesn't look fast because he's so gosh dang tall and beefy, but this man is beating everybody from the 50-yard line all the way down to the end zone. He's beating everybody. He's beating everybody speed-wise. Derrick Henry, it's glad to have you back, man. Oh, man. And then we get one more. Here we go. Let's get Derrick Henry's first touchdown of the season. Here we go from the 5-yard line, down 24-9 in the third quarter. Reverses all the way to the left side of the field, and then just goes 10 yards for the touchdown. So Derrick Henry finally has reawoken here this week, and we could not be happier about it. Derrick Henry, whew, King Henry, welcome back. We are not worthy. Our camera died, and I forgot, but I bowed down to the Derrick Henry poster. I apologize for y'all not being able to see that. All right. So Ryan Tannehill, good solid performance right here. Derrick Henry, amazing performance. Julio Jones, 6 receptions for 128 yards. Derrick Henry had 6 receptions as well for 55 yards. Oh my goodness, what a great performance by that man in the running game, passing game, touchdown, scoring, clutch, all that. Woof. All right, then we get the third leading receiver here for the Titans, McCole Pruitt, 3 receptions, 43 yards, and then A.J. Brown, 3 receptions for 43 yards. Ryan Tannehill spreading the wealth. And now let's talk about the Seahawks team. Russell Wilson, 22 of 31. Russell Wilson really getting it done here in the first half. A little bit of a stinker in the second half, though. 22 of 31. Great completion percentage at 70%. 343 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Didn't turn the ball over. Fantastic. The running game, Chris Carson, 13 carries for 31 yards, 2 touchdowns. It's okay in the touchdowns department, but, no real breakout runs, no Derrick Henry-esque runs, obviously. Tyler Lockett was getting open all game long, 8 receptions for 178 yards and 1 touchdown. Freddie Swain, 5 receptions for 95 yards and a touchdown. DK Metcalf, 6 receptions for 53 yards. But I mean, the Seahawks in the second half, what do we got? These are their drives in the second half. They only put up 6 points in the second half as well, folks. They put up 24 points, leading 24-9, and they lose 33-30 in overtime. But their first drive in the second half, 8 plays, 41 yards, and it stalls. They have to punt. Then they go 3 plays, 76 yards, and a touchdown. Then 3 plays, 8 yards, punt. Then 3 yards, 9 yards, punt. Then 4 yards, 42 yards, end of half. Couldn't get into field goal position to win the game in regulation. And then that does it. So, Seahawks, man, we'll see. We saw their offense just kind of overall fall off at the end of this season last year, kind of the back end, and now we just kind of saw it slowly kind of fall off here in the back end of this game. So hopefully they can put together a great full 60 minutes of football, not get out to a hot start and then just kind of fizzle out. But well done for the Titans and Derrick Henry, never giving up. Absolutely fantastic. All right, 2 more games left to go over to, and then we're out of here for today. Here we go. Next one up is the Cowboys at the Chargers. And once again, folks, we told y'all we were big on this Cowboys team, given all their teams and players defensively being out and all that. We ended up taking the Cowboys plus 3.5, and they didn't even need any of those points. They win outright. Well done, Dak. Well done, Cowboys offense. And they win 20-17 on a game-winning field goal from Greg Zuerlein, 56 yards out. Well done to win the game. But this is what we're talking about, folks, this Cowboys offense. In this game, this game was fantastic, back and forth. It wasn't like these offenses were struggling. When we take a look at these drive charts, folks, not a lot of drives in this game. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drives in the first half, or in the first quarter. The last drive, the 6th drive, went into the second quarter, but there was only all these possessions in the first quarter because there was 2 interceptions, so you just give teams more opportunities. But then in the second quarter there was only 3 possessions. In the third quarter there was 4 possessions, and then in the fourth quarter there was 2 possessions. So they were truly making the most of their possessions right here, and the offenses were all looking good. It was just, unfortunately, long drives, and that, sustainable offenses. So once again, close game here by both teams that offenses both looked good at, just a little bit wonky when you kind of just look at all right, what happened and all that. So, well done by both offenses here, especially this Cowboys offense. So let's start here with Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott goes 23 of 27, only 4 incompletions, and you gotta love Dak Prescott. Accurate as heck, looking so gosh dang good, and that is 85% completion percentage for 237 yards. He didn't throw a touchdown, and he did throw a pick, which isn't good, and his pick came in the first quarter, and the Chargers came down and settled for a field goal off of that. So not terrible by Dak Prescott overall. Then we go the rushing attack, and man, oh man, what a great rushing attack. Tony Pollard, 13 carries for 109 yards and a touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott, 16 carries for 71 yards and a touchdown. Running back by committee here by Dallas. Their right guard back, Zach Martin, back in the lineup there for the offensive line for the Cowboys, and bango, bango, the rushing attack is out to a hot start. We love it. We love the Cowboys right here, and this is what we were saying, folks. The running game was going to be back, and here it is back. We believed in them, took them plus 3.5 points. They went outright. Fantastic job by the Cowboys offense. We love it. Now let's see who Dak Prescott was throwing to all game long. CeeDee Lamb, 9 targets, 8 receptions for 81 yards, leading receiver, and we saw him, struggle with drops last week. He makes up for it this week. Well done by CeeDee Lamb. Blake Jarwin, 3 receptions for 37 yards. Tony Pollard, 3 receptions for 31 yards. Ezekiel Elliott, 2 receptions for 26 yards. And then we have Amari Cooper, 3 receptions for 24 yards. So Dak Prescott, accurate, delivering the ball, and they win by 3. Nice job here at their very last drive. 3 minutes and 49 seconds left in the game, and they go down on a 11-play, 49-yard field goal to get them into field goal range, kick the game-winning field goal to win walk-off fashion. Fantastic. Alrighty, what else do we get here? Now let's talk about this Chargers team. Justin Herbert, a good game, but threw 2 interceptions, and just unfortunate when there's not a lot of possessions to be had in this game, you can't be throwing picks, and he throws 2 of them, so truly unfortunate, especially in only a 3-point loss. Either of those 2 drives you score points in, you probably win the game. So Justin Herbert's still looking good, just unfortunate. The pressure, the big circumstance, the big game got to him a little bit. Unfortunate. But he throws 31 of 41 for 75% completion percentage. We love it. He threw 338 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Let's see where these interceptions came from. The first interception came on their first drive when they're down 7-0. Luckily, the defense bails them out by picking off Dak Prescott right after it. And then the second interception comes in the third quarter when they were driving and they were at the Cowboys 9-yard line. He throws a pick, and that's inexcusable. Red zone interception, and then the Cowboys go down and score a field goal off of it and break the tie, making it 17-14. So truly unfortunate turnovers here by Justin Herbert. Bailed out on one, not bailed out on the other, and they lose by 3. Unfortunate. All right, running backs here. Austin Eckler goes 9 carries for 54 yards. Justin Jackson, 4 carries, 21 yards. So the running game wasn't anything special. And now let's see who Justin Herbert was throwing to. Here we go. Keenan Allen, 4 receptions for 108 yards. Fantastic. Mike Williams, 7 receptions for 91 yards and a touchdown. Austin Eckler, 9 receptions for 61 yards. And then we got Jared Cook, 3 receptions for 28 yards. So Justin Herbert going to his playmakers. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams getting it done. Just unfortunately come up a little bit short there. But overall, a great game. Give more respect to this Cowboys team. Micah Parsons on defense. Give that man credit at the defensive end. Oh my goodness. I believe he even had a sack in this game. The linebacker moving to the edge rusher because of all their injuries. And Micah Parsons, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss. Get it done, kid. Brought the pressure, and once again, got to give so much credit to Dan Quinn's defense here of Dallas, truly turning it around, making the most of it with all those players being out, holding Justin Herbert and this Chargers offense only 17 points at home. Got to give credit to this Cowboys team. Cowboys are truly looking like one of the best teams in the league, potentially top 10, I would say, definitely top 10, I should say, and we'll see where they move in our power rankings come on tomorrow's show. But well done for the Cowboys winning 20-17. Dak Prescott and company getting it done. Alrighty, and then the last game to talk about, the Sunday night football game, Chiefs at Ravens, and wow, oh wow, living up to truly the expectations that this, rivalry should be, is kind of, what is it, like advertised as. So well done for the Ravens. Finally, Lamar Jackson beating Patrick Mahomes by 1 point out here, 36-35, and the Ravens get it done. So let's start seeing what was happening in this game. So let's start here with the Ravens and Lamar Jackson since they won the game. So Lamar Jackson passes the ball 18 of 26. That is, what do we get? 69% completion percentage, fantastic. 239 yards, 1 touchdown. He did throw 2 interceptions though. The first one was a pick 6 on the first drive of the game, but he bounces back, comes up with a touchdown on his next possession, fantastic. And then his second interception was also in the first quarter, and I believe Tyrann Mathieu had both of these picks, no? Tyrann Mathieu got the second one, and I believe who had the pick 6? Tyrann Mathieu for the first one, and he scored a touchdown. So Tyrann Mathieu balling out. We know, we kind of talk about him as the best safety in the league, and he always shows out. Got to give credit to him. So Lamar Jackson in a huge game throws 2 interceptions, a pick 6 in the first quarter, but then ends up just bouncing back and stays the course, stays with the game plan, and wins the game. So for that, Lamar Jackson, you got to give him a ton of credit for that. All right, so 239 passing yards by Lamar Jackson. He also was the leading rusher, obviously. 16 carries for 107 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns, doing it all. We get Tyson Williams, the second leading rusher here, 13 carries for 77 yards. Latavius Murray, 9 carries for 36 yards. And then Devontae Freeman, 2 carries for 29 yards. Had a big old run right there. I believe he set up a score. Did he set up this first touchdown? Big run. Devontae Freeman, 31 yards. Fantastic. Yeah, he set up that first touchdown for the Ravens. That's what I thought. So, yeah, Latavius Murray doing his thing. We still did not see Le'Veon Bell, so we'll see if we see him in week 3. But overall, the Ravens still put up 36 points. So very, very well done by everybody involved. Basically, Lamar Jackson, since he's basically the offense, rushing and passing and doing everything himself. Putting up 3 touchdowns, 2 rushing, 1 passing. All right, let's see who Lamar Jackson was throwing to. Marquise Brown, 6 receptions for 113 yards and a touchdown. Mark Andrews, second leading receiver, 5 receptions for 57 yards. Then we get Sammy Watkins, 4 receptions for 44 yards. So spreading it all around. You love to see it. But yeah, I mean, just stood the course. Made it 14-14 in the second quarter. Chiefs go back up 21-14. Ravens get a field goal, making it 21-17 at halftime. Chiefs come back out and score another touchdown. First possession in the second half, making it 28-17. Then the Ravens go down and score a touchdown, making it 28-24. But then the Chiefs are like, hang on, anything y'all can do, I can do better. They score another touchdown, really keeping all the pressure on the Ravens. They're down 35-24 with 7 minutes left in the third quarter. Then they punt. Then Patrick Mahomes throw a pick. Lamar Jackson scores a touchdown, making it 35-30. The Chiefs have to punt again. Ravens take advantage, score a touchdown, making it 36-35 with 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And then the Chiefs fumble the ball. Clyde Edwards-Helaire fumbles the ball, and that is game time. So well done with the Ravens. I mean, adversity from the first possession, throwing that pick six, keeping up that adversity with the Chiefs piling on the touchdowns. Ravens still turning the ball over, and they stick with it and pull it out at the end. So big credit there to Lamar Jackson. Big credit here by the Ravens and just keeping at it, never getting down on themselves and winning the game. All right, now let's talk about the Chiefs here. Patrick Mahomes goes 24 of 31. Great there by Patrick Mahomes, obviously. 77% completion percentage, 343 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. The interception, like we said, came in the third quarter and led to a touchdown for the Ravens, so not great, making it a 5-point deficit for the Ravens after the touchdown. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 13 carries for 46 yards with the game-losing fumble, unfortunately, there. Once again, you would have left Patrick Mahomes, 4 minutes to do what he does, and that's to go down only down 1 point. They can easily get into field goal position. They were already in field goal position when Clyde Edwards-Helaire fumbled the ball at the 32-yard line. So, once again, it's really like, Lamar Jackson should have been 0-4 against Patrick Mahomes. The Chiefs should have won this game, and you just can't let the Chiefs have the ball last in the game or they will win it. So that's how you beat the Chiefs. Keep the ball out of their hands at the last possession, and that's what the Ravens did. They forced a fumble there by Clyde Edwards-Helaire, the running back, and they take the ball out of the Chiefs' hands. They're not the ones with the ball in their hands at the end of the game. If they were, they would have won the game. So Chiefs still basically won the game. Unfortunately, they fumbled the ball there, so they lose. But man, oh man, the Chiefs, man, they just don't lose normally, folks. They just don't lose. They never get blown out. They never get shut out. They never, get down on themselves and keep imploding or anything like that. So this Chiefs team is still great. The Lamar Jackson beating them once, doesn't really change anything. And if they have to face again in the playoffs, I think we have to take the Chiefs, honestly. But we'll see what happens. But well done with Lamar Jackson. We still got to give him credit. All right, let's see who Patrick Mahomes was throwing to here. Travis Kelce, leading receiver. That shouldn't surprise anybody. 7 receptions for 109 yards and a touchdown. Brian Pringle, 2 receptions, 63 yards and a touchdown. Mecole Hardman, 5 receptions, 55 yards. And then look at this. Tyreek Hill, 3 receptions for 14 yards. The Ravens locking up Tyreek Hill is probably the biggest takeaway from this game. That should be the biggest takeaway of the game. Tyreek Hill not getting free and only having 14 yards receiving. That is the biggest takeaway of this game, hands down. All right, and then we kind of see John Harbaugh asking Lamar Jackson on the sideline, hey, you want to go for this on 4th down to really kind of ice it out? And, he believes in Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson says, yeah, I want to go for this, and they go for it, and they get it, and they ice the game. So well done by, John Harbaugh. We love hearing head coaches taking input from everybody, the players, the coaches on the coaching staff, to truly get an understanding of what should be going on here. And John Harbaugh asks Lamar Jackson, hey, should we go for this? You want to go for this? And then kind of, goes along with whatever Lamar Jackson says, the leader. So has big belief in Lamar Jackson, and we absolutely love that. So credit John Harbaugh that. And then we got to credit Sammy Watkins this. Big celebration here between Lamar Jackson and Sammy Watkins after winning the game last night. And that's so great because yesterday on the show, our kind of pre-game show leading up to the games yesterday, we read the quote from Sammy Watkins talking about Lamar Jackson being like, hey, I know Lamar Jackson wants this win so bad against Patrick Mahomes. He's 0-3 in their season series. I'm going to do whatever I can to win that game. And he knows, Sammy Watkins was saying, there is an energy in this locker room to win just for Lamar Jackson. Everybody wanted to win just for Lamar Jackson because of that 0-3 stat against Patrick Mahomes for his legacy and all that. So well done for Sammy Watkins doing his thing to get the win, and a true team effort win out here, and everyone's happy for Lamar Jackson. And that's what makes this team so great. The chemistry here offensively and overall here for the team. Everybody buys into each other. It's a true brotherhood. Everybody wants each other to win and be successful, and that's what Sammy Watkins was explaining in that quote, and it's truly shown here on the field celebrating together. Alrighty, folks, that is going to do it for us today. All right, we got our baseline down for week 2, which is great. So now for the rest of the week, Tuesday, we can do all of our lists, our power rankings, shouting out the tight ends, doing our shame and fame list. That's coming up tomorrow. All that coming up tomorrow. Then Wednesday, we do our film study, going into some of these games and narratives a little bit deeper. What should we be watching for? What did y'all not see? What should we be pointing out? We'll talk all about that on Wednesday. Thursday, we guess and react to the week 3 lines. Get ready for that Thursday night game, and then Friday we make our official picks. But it all starts today with the official breakdown, getting everybody on the same page of truly what happened yesterday during the entire day of football, and now we are here. All right, let's quickly give our pick for tonight's game, the Monday Night Football game. Lions at Green Bay. All right, Packers minus 12.5, and all we have to say is yes, take the minus 12.5. The teams that kind of, didn't look the best in week 1 kind of showed out. The Bills didn't put up a lot of points. They win 35-0. No big deal for them. What else do we get here week 1? Or week 2, I should say. Who else showed out? I'm blanking a little bit. Here we go. Yes, here we go. All right, who did not show up and showed out here? I guess nobody really. Saints did good week 1 and then floundered, only put up 7 points. I'm assuming that's this is what we are saying here. Here we go. This is what the game should be like right here. The Falcons and the Bucks, folks. I mean, the Bucks should just blow out. They did blow out the Falcons. They should have, and they did. They won by 23. I mean, that's really what this game tonight should be here. Packers Lions, swallow the 12 here for the Packers. I don't see the Lions being competitive here. That's what I wanted to say. There was some teams that were competitive in week 1, but that weren't competitive here in week 2. Obviously, the Dolphins beating the Patriots week 1, putting up 0 points here week 2. We had who else do we have? The Titans not being competitive week 1. They were competitive week 2, so the flip side of that. Either way, what we're trying to say here is the Lions will not be ready for tonight. That's all we're saying. Take the Packers minus 12. See what happens when we go so late in the show. We start talking crazy. We're firing trillions of miles an hour, and we can't even say what we want to say. So just take the Packers minus 12, folks. That's it. Packers minus 12. That's the pick. Alrighty, folks, we're out of here. We got to get out of here. I mean, folks, we are going super late. Our camera died like an hour ago. We're out of here. We'll see you tomorrow, folks. Great show. We'll see you tomorrow for Tuesday at noon Eastern. Alrighty. Now that we're on the same page, folks. The Monday shows is to get everything on the same page, and here we are. All right, we're out of here finally. We're getting crazy.